Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthiest of casuals. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal. Whee.
He's here, all black. He's got a casual Corona. He's not working tomorrow for whatever reason. Maybe he got fired, who knows? But he's here enjoying himself on the pod today. We got another special guest. We got Mr. KIERNIMBUS, baby. He's got his own pod, the Infinite podcast. KIERNIMBUS, why don't you tell people where they can find you, man?
Yeah, I stream extremely inconsistently at Twitch, and I also upload super inconsistently on YouTube, so any of those places is fine. And you can also find me complaining on Twitter. That's where I complain the most.
I love it, man. Thanks for joining us, man. Excited to have you here. We're gonna have a fun one today. Nothing too crazy going on in Marvel Snap, but we got a nice, very exciting card that was released this week. A 410 that has a very cool ability. Cull Obsidian. We'll talk about that. We'll go over maybe the Imbalance Patch, the love couples. Maybe some of these can be permanent changes. Who knows? And then I think to rejoice in this 410 power creep that we have going on, we're gonna go over the 4 cost cards and make a little bit of a tier list live, and we'll get our thoughts and see what we're doing. That's be good for this week. Let's get it.
Great transition. That was awesome.
Thanks. No big deal. KIERNIMBUS, how the heck are you guys this week?
How you doing, KIERNIMBUS? How's your Marvel Snap week been, buddy?
Dude, I've been trying to make this Helicarrier deck work, and I'm just getting dunked on, man. It's just everywhere. It's big cards there, big cards there. I don't know if I can keep up. It's kind of a war zone.
Well, let's go over it. You got me interested. So are you running like Collector Loki? Are you doing a discard Meek type of thing? Or what are you running? I'm
the
interested.
most honest Helicarrier deck you've ever seen before. It has
Shield.
Devil Dino. Deck. Yes, it has Devil Dino, Collector, Helicarrier, Lady Sif Ghost Rider, and a bunch of other cards like Quinjet, Kitty Pryde, Blade Mirage, and Agent Coulson, of course. I just got the Dan Hip variant, so I had to throw him in there.
Okay. I respect.
So, dude, it is really sad. I get like 20 power in each lane, and then some Hella deck comes along. It's like 20 power. I could do that with one card.
Yeah.
Oh man,
more than that. Yeah. Oh yeah. 20. That's rookie numbers.
I know. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hella's kind of crazy right now, huh? It's kind of funny that Hella's like a good deck. I don't know if it's exciting. I know a lot of people kind of hate it, but like I kind of love it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if you're a Hella enjoyer, it's a good time to be playing Marvel Snap. Although, I'll tell you what, man, if every game is going to be determined by where your Hella cards land, I don't know if that's healthy.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's true.
As a Hella enjoyer, as a mega Hella enjoyer, it's definitely top 2 deck for me.
Sure.
I mean, I'm loving it. It's the most I've played this week is. The deck I've played the most this week has been Hella for sure. I just played my own build, the one Zerif got to Infinite. We've talked about it before, but this is the first week where I'm sitting here playing Hella, and I'm like, my God, like this is the first time this thought has even crept into my mind where I'm like, they might nerf this. This might get nerfed. Like we might see an OTA change because we've got nothing but buffs. Like we've got nothing but love, and it actually is sick. Like I hope they keep buffing the move cards because. This could be move one day. Like,
Sure.
We had to buff the shit out of Blade. We buffed Lady Sif. We buffed the Black Cat. We added the Black Knight. He was a dog shit card. Buffed the shit out of Black Knight. And it's like, okay, now Hella's like amazing, right? So, and of course, paired with, you got to nerf everything else. Loki, Eliath, Elsa, get all these cards out of here. Miss Marvel, all these cards got mega nerfed. And all of a sudden now, and the Blob, of course. But we could play Blob in Hella now, but we couldn't play it with pre-patch Blob. But I'm looking at this Hella deck. I'm like, my God, this is so strong. It just feels so. It's never felt this good before. Nobody's trying to tech against it. I will say that. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, you can't tech against it. There are some ways. I'll give you guys some sauce if you want. But I would not be surprised in the next couple weeks if we see an OTA touching up some of these Hella cards.
Yeah, I
What's
think it's
your
interesting.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was about to say I would love to hear your tech against it, because other than Sarah tech, which I think kind of just wins against everything,
Mhm.
if you're trying to like have one or two cards in your deck against Hela, the only two that I can really think of are like maybe Echo to stop a Tribunal lane if you see it coming, or a Cosmo. But you know, they can also do things like pivot into the Black Knight game plan, which is really hard to get around, or they can do a number of things with like the Iron Man Living Tribunal onslaught thing too. They can throw that in the Hela deck. It's kind of nuts.
I was
I
gonna
agree.
say, what do you do? Goose, Cosmo, and then get priority and play Goliath in the third lane when they try and Hela.
Well, that is that is one of the actual things. Yeah. Goliath is one of the things for sure. You
Okay.
do have to lock stuff down, of course. I would say that you brought up the Sarah example. I think Hela owns Sarah. I think you're just not going to beat the deck with Sarah.
Right.
That's an easy matchup. You're playing a Sandman or a Sarah deck into Hela, like you're fucked. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like
That's
know.
why Hela is so good right now, is because Sarah's the best deck in the game, and so people are like, "How did you beat Sarah? Fuck you. We're playing Hela now."
Maybe it's not the best deck in the game. You know?
All right,
Maybe
go
that's
ahead. All
But-
right, go tell us the tech. Sorry.
I wish I could. I wish I wrote this down ahead of time, but I thought of like 7 of these before. But let me give you some ideas. All right.
Okay, yeah, hit us with it.
You ready? Okay. Korg, Rock Slide, Black Widow, Maximus. Maximus is a really good one that runs in the Sarah deck, but doesn't matter because you're playing a Sarah deck. But if you play Maximus in another deck, really good against Hela, especially if they're a Dracula gamer, Lockjaw gamer. A lot of these Hela players, they're playing Jubilee Lockjaw. That's the most popular version. Husky Puppies running Lockjaw Jubilee. Literally, you play a Rock Slide, they're dead. Like they can't do anything against Rock Slide because rocks pop out, and you need to draw your Hela. It's already hard enough to draw your Hela and have all the stars align. You start throwing rocks into the deck, it's an absolute nightmare as you completely annihilate the math. Another one is it's a little more thin, but it's Master Mold.
God.
Anyway, stuff like this. This is and then the one people are actually using is also Leech. Just make sure you can beat a 620 Infinite on 6 if you're playing Leech. That's the other thing. But I think she not like dummies Hela. Oh, and another thing too, probably the hardest counter is just play Tribunal deck. Unless the only thing the Hela player can do against a Tribunal deck is like have a god roll with like Silver Samurai hitting the exact card that it needs to hit. But a lot of the time they play Ravona and the Iron Man comes down on 4 anyway. So they're playing Iron Man and you're playing your Samurai. Your Samurai can't hit anything. Usually the Tribunal deck just outright wins, and there's really nothing Hela deck. It's just not enough power to deal with what the Tribunal deck puts out. So Tribunal deck, any Darkhawk deck, Korg Rock Slide, Widow, really, really, really good against Hela. But people like think they could tech against it. Sarah, they'll all just guess with the Cosmo. No, you won't. There's 3 lanes, so you're gonna lose 66% of the time. It's a bad strategy. Don't do that unless you're like the kid and you're locking down lanes. And you got a goose, like you said, kid. I mean, you're kind of memeing, but that does work. You Hela can't do against that. So, and you'll probably get Prio pretty easily against Hela if you really want to, right? Because they got power, but they don't have that much power.
Yeah, you could Storm and Goose and Storm, and that way you have the only one lane they can play the Hela in. Mm-hmm. And if you have Goliath, if you can somehow get Prio, maybe. So, but then they might have like Black Knight plans, like you said. If they have Zabu and then Black Knight shit, then your Goose lane's fucked. So. I don't know. I like
some ideas. I'm still hey, I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to chirp.
I think I like the idea of throwing. What would you call it? Like deck junk, a deck junk kind of idea, where it's you're throwing the Widow's Bite, you're giving them junk in their deck, so that way when they try to high roll, they low roll. Mm-hmm. I guess it's just frustrating because all the things that you listed work in a deck together, but then you're resigning to playing that deck if you're seeing Hela. And then of course, as soon as you do that, you're going to run into like a destroy deck and just get absolutely destroyed. I think honestly, it wouldn't be that much of an issue if Hela wasn't so consistent right now. Mm-hmm. I get it. It feels great, but also the whole point of the deck was the high rolls were unbeatable. Well, now it kind of just feels like it's mostly unbeatable, and then you just retreat for 1 cube when you don't get the Hella. So I don't know. I wish that there was an elegant way to keep how it's feeling right now without making it as strong. But what can you do? Honestly, I think I would take this over a lockdown meta any day. Any day.
Yeah, or Loki meta for that matter.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, like right now, like yeah, Hella's pretty damn strong, and like yeah, if they pop off, you're kind of screwed. But at least like I don't know, this last few weeks have been feeling really nice. Like I feel like I can just literally play anything, and I'm doing pretty good. You know, if Hella gets to be a huge problem, I guess I don't know. What are your ideas for like fixing it? Like Hella can only bring back 2 or 3 cards instead of like 10. Or like I've heard some people say like, oh, Hella can only revive in the 1 lane, but that's kind of crap.
Yeah, it's hard.
That might help. I don't think you could do that. You get targeted. You actually get to choose as the Hella player where your cards go. That sounds kind of good. I don't know.
Well, if it's just 1 lane, then like okay,
like just
so you win 1 lane.
Hella? If it's just lane player, then I guess that's a big nerf. Yeah,
that's what people have said. Like, oh no, it's ideas I've seen. I don't think. But and I'm just gonna say this: I don't think Hella needs a nerf. I think it's fine right now. Right, like,
yeah,
let everything roll. Like, you know, I don't know. Maybe Corvus Glaive comes out and no big deal. Sandman Hella just takes over the meta. Who knows? Fucking Sandman,
dude. That's some of the weirdest cooks I've ever seen on Twitter. I'd like to believe the top players, but when Lambie rolled out with it's gonna make a Sandman deck with Corvus Glaive. I don't know, man. Card seems kind of weird to me, but who knows?
Yeah, KIERNIMBUS, I think you make a good point where the tech is not very straightforward. Like you brought up Destroy, right? Like I was thinking as you're saying Destroy, well, yeah, you could just play a Destroy deck against Hella. Like I think Destroy matches up pretty good against Hella. I think you're going to consistently put out a little bit more power than the Hella deck basically all the time. But to your point, if everyone's having a hard time with Destroy, they could just put armor in their deck. And you just own Destroy. But that doesn't exist for Hella, right? There's not the 1 card you could tech in your deck and be like, all right, here we go. Like, it's not Cosmo. I know it's not Cosmo. You know, I think maybe Second Dinner wants it to be like a card like Cosmo. But on reveals are so strong in Marvel Snap because you could play them in any lane, especially if you have Bryo. It's guaranteed. And, I mean, that's why half the cards in the game are on reveal. And, yeah, Hella is one of those cards. I think to nerf her, you just take power off of Hella. I think that's the answer. You could put her like a 6-2, honestly, if it gets so out of hand. And I think that would straight up solve the problem.
Would it? You think that 4 power would make a difference? The other lanes are 46 each?
Yeah, because they're not 46 each, right? Like Infinite's 20, but that's it. Like, you know, they're just not like, you know, the Hella, you need the 6 power from the Hella most of the time. You're playing down the lane where I need to put, you know, I already got 12 in this lane and I got to go to 18 here so that Infinite could go win me another lane. And if that's a 6-2 Hella, it's going to be like your win rate's going to go way down. Just for the same reason that it went up when they added a point of power across the board on all the discard cards. So they added 3 points of power, or, you know, Sith, Black Cat, and well, I guess that's 2 points, but Blade didn't get power, but you get the point, right? They buffed like 4 discard cards, like 1 point of power each, or some other buff, and, you know, you take power off it, kind of, you know, get it back.
Yeah, I hope that when they, you know, if they ever do decide to touch the Hella stuff, which I don't know if they will, if they do, I hope they leave the discard cards alone. Because that's
why I'm suggesting the power.
Yeah. Like I hope they don't revert Blade or Black Cat or any of those, like, you know, those cards, because this card might actually be a deck that actually might be, you know, decently competitive by the end of this month. And that would be kind of cool to get a whole new archetype that people could actually play and, you know, compete with, which I know some people are having some success. Like Dara plays the Meek discard at high infinite, you know, all the time. But I mean, he's just like a hero player. So for like the casuals like us, I don't know, I can't pick up a Meek discard list and have any sort of success.
Nerfherder was on here last week. He was saying he played at top 1K and had like 55% win rate with his Meek discard. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a T2 deck, you know. It's like you said, kid, you could play anything. So Meek discard happens to be one of those things, you know. That's why top 5, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I hope that they just don't. If they do touch Hella, they just touch Hella only. They don't go
Hella, touch the shit out of the Hella.
Yeah, they don't go collector, make it collector 2-0, fuckers.
Yeah.
I'm cooking here.
Okay.
Like, hear me out. So one of the biggest problems with Hella, right, is you can't stop their effect easily with like a Shang-Chi or a Valkyrie or something, because they go after you almost all the time thanks to an Invisible Woman or now Supergiant, who's now added into the mix. I think it might be interesting if the requirement on Hela was that you had to play her on turn 5. Because if that was the case and you had to revive cards on turn 5, that would allow turn 6 for counterplay.
Mm-hmm.
And it would stop the whole like, well, now you have to play Leech in every deck, which I personally really dislike, because
So
Leech
she'd be
wouldn't
like a
affect the health.
5/5, something like that. You're saying?
Yeah, something like that. But her effect would say does not activate after turn.
The
5
magic,
or
the
something.
magic.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not very elegant as a solution, but it would allow for counterplay on turn 6, which I think is one of the biggest issues a lot of people have with Hela.
Yeah, I think if the Hela problem becomes a real problem, it's a good solution, because you would nuke the card for sure. That's a massive nerf to the card. I wouldn't play the card if I had to play it on 5 personally. Unless she was like a 5/9 or something stupid like that, then I guess I would mess around and see what makes some shit happen, or like a 5/8. But yeah, if she's like a 5/5, I don't think that's a playable card, but it would solve the problem like 100%. Like, so I think who knows, maybe make her a 5/7. Could be interesting. Maybe.
I don't know. And you guys were totally right in saying that, like, honestly, I'm almost scared to suggest that they change Hela at all, because who knows what will come after, right? Something else is going to be broken. Something else is going to be at the very top. I don't want to mess with that either. So I'm okay with the Hela meta. But if they were to change something, I would suspect that they would add counterplay somehow. I don't know if that's adding a new card, because that's expensive for a lot of people, but who knows?
Yeah, it's not post infinite on untapped anyway. Not like for whatever that's worth. It's a 7% meta share, 6.8 Hela is.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not crazy, because not like 20%, like when Galactus got really out of hand.
Oh,
it was like 20%.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Consistently. Yeah.
Like Destroys 14.6%. Thanos Lockjaw is 10.1% of the meta. The Hela is probably the third out of like the top 10 decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. Not like crazy, but yeah, I don't know. I think Hela's fun. It's not, personally, it's not bugging me too much right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I think just it's the Sarah players are mad. I think that's all it is. Like, this deck like legit owns Sarah. Like, it owns her. And like, at least with like I said, like if you destroys 14%, I think destroy just beats Hela straight up. Like, it might be a 60-40, but like, it's just you just get so much more power on the destroy deck, so much more consistently. But the Sarah has so much tech. They got Shang-Chi, they got Killmonger, they got they could Ghost if they want to go crazy, Shadow King on the freaking Venom. Like, it's just like 9 tech cards that beat the destroy deck in the Sarah deck. And the Sarah players are just like, well, we can't do anything. What do we do? Like, let's just complain. Like, I don't know. So maybe it is a problem, but like I've always not been the big, even like a year ago when Hela was completely irrelevant. And Sarah Control was still a big deck where they played the Lizard and Mysterio, whatever, right? That deck's so boring to me. It's always been so boring to me. I don't love this Sarah Control deck. So anytime those guys are sad, I'm happy personally.
I don't mind Sarah Control that much, honestly. It wasn't a deck that I really played too much, throughout all of Marvel Snap. But once in a while, like when Revis had that, when he had the Chadiator Maximus list, I played that. That was I kind of had a good time playing with that one.
It's a great list.
It is a great list, but I don't really care too much about Sarah. I'm not like a Sarah enjoyer or anything like that. Once in a while I'll play it and that'll be that.
Sarah's sick in everything that's not like Sarah Controls. Then she's like really cool, I think.
Yeah. Destroy is good right now. If you guys want to play the ladder with the hot location cloning vats.
Oh my god, dude!
Fucking stupid second dinner.
Dude, I don't. It's not that I hate Destroy. I'm jealous of Destroy players. You know what I mean? They just get it all. There's so like Destroy used to be a thing where it's like, oh, these are downsides, but then you get power, and it's like, actually no, they all love getting destroyed, and they all synergize with each other, and you get cool locations, and they keep featuring locations that help destroy. I don't know, man. I just every time I play my Black Knight deck, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, got that 420 Infinite, I'm gonna throw that down. They're like, what what are you talking about, dude? I have like 4 of those in my deck already.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I like Destroy personally. I think it's great. I think just because I like it because it's a more beginner friendly deck than most of these decks that are actually good. So like I kind of like feel for the people that like don't want to spend a shit ton of money on the game and they need only a couple like series 4 or 5 cards to have a really, really competitive deck. And I don't think Destroy is that good. I mean, it's good, but I don't think it's like that good that it's oppressive.
For sure.
So like you could always, because you could, if it gets out of hand, you just start putting armor in your deck, or in armor or Cosmo if you want to really screw them over, and that's it.
I love playing a Destroyer deck for that reason, because you have Professor X, you have armor, and you also have Cosmo.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to be able to like snap against a turn 2 Deadpool play, and you're like, oh, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, and that's how Dara got to number 1 in Infinite, right? He was playing Sarah Tech, but he put in armor just to fuck with the Destroy players. So like you just snap early with a Sarah Tech deck and just play armor and just beat them.
Yeah,
So it was kind of funny.
KIERNIMBUS, I have a philosophical question to ask you. I don't know if we've ever asked a guest like this, but it's like, God, we're we got, I'm here. I'm trying to do my weekend. Let me paint you a picture first before let me frame the question a little bit.
I'll close my eyes. Let me absorb.
I'm playing Marvel Snap, right? This is like an hour ago, right? I look at my weekend missions, Black Swan and Cull Obsidian, right? Okay, I got to get the tokens and the gold here. A little bit, I'm okay. I'll take the rewards. So I'm playing this random zoo deck that was on Untapped that has like pretty good stats. It's like a really fun deck, I'm having a good time. And then the hot location is Cloning Vats, and it's destroy player, destroy player, destroy player. They all have Killmonger. So now I got to go to Conquest Proving Grounds to do my freaking weekend missions, and it's just miserable. So how do you feel about hot locations?
I don't like them. TLDR, not a big fan. In fact, that's why I schedule my content creation on days that the hot locations are not there, because it is agony. Like for someone like me who likes to swap up the decks that I'm playing, that likes to, cook something that might work half the time. It sucks when the game tells you, hey, these are the decks that are good right now, and you don't get a choice. It is what it is. And I know that some people would argue that the whole idea of the hot locations is it's trying to make people branch out from what they usually play, but I feel like it really doesn't. I feel like really what happens is that if you're already playing like a deck that you really, really like, and the hot locations favor that, you're just going to ramp your way up the ladder because you're an expert in that deck. That's my 2 cents anyway. I don't know if I would prefer them being gone. I guess I just prefer it being less time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's well said. And it's funny you bring it up with the devil's advocate argument, and I understand the devil's advocate argument for sure. But we were talking about like the Marvel Snap community like before this pod and stuff, and I've just got Twitter a few weeks ago, and I'm kind of reading other people's opinions a lot more than usual. Yeah. I don't know a single person that likes them. I have not seen one person be like, I love hot locations, man. Spices up the game. This is great. I'm playing, we have the Pono, we got patch, OTA, nothing, OTA. We got new cards every week, 5 new cards a month. Like, man, the game is always spicy. I don't think we need them anymore, guys. Like, we're like way past, like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know a single person that likes hot locations. That's why I was curious if, maybe KIERNIMBUS. I don't want to judge, hey, it's all good.
Hey,
like
sure, yeah.
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you if you like Sarah Control either. It's all everybody, whatever floats your boat, But like, I know people that like Sarah Control, but I don't know anybody that likes a hot location.
Yeah, that's well said. That's what I was gonna say. I fucking hate the hot locations, and you said the same thing I was gonna say. I don't know one person who likes them. They're fucking garbage. They're absolute garbage. They like you want to play the game, like when you play Marvel Snap, you just want to play what you want to play that day, Like, and the hot locations, like you said, they just force you to choose. Like Cloning Vats. All right, well, fucking here comes all the destroy players. All right, so do I just gotta play armor? Maybe I don't want to play a deck with armor. Maybe I want to do some weird shit and let me just cook on the ladder. Let me just be an idiot. But yeah, no, they're stupid. I hate them. Then you gotta go, like you said, you gotta go to Conquest, you gotta go Proving Grounds, and it's like, all right, let's snap for 8, blah blah blah, this bullshit, and I don't want to do that right now. I just want to play ladder. Yeah, like I want some quick games, and that's it.
Some glue here,
I think honestly, it must be a relic from. And I know that locations are obviously new, so they didn't like port this from another game necessarily. But I think the idea was that people want to see new stuff. But like, if you're talking to the average Marvel Snap player, the average Marvel Snap player is sitting on their toilet trying to get through a game. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to hop on to some sweaty Destroy player's deck on cloning Vats Day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, they just want to play their zoo deck and just have a good time for 5 minutes before they have to do the next thing. So, I don't know. Like, for the hardcore players, it doesn't work. And also for the casual players, I don't think it works very well. I think it might need looked at, but I think we've learned by now Marvel Snap really likes their hot locations because they keep promoting them. So
it's pumping them.
Yeah, I'm cool with like when they release a new location that it comes up more frequently for 24 hours. Like if it's a brand new location, I think that's cool. That way, like you kind of get used to the new location and you get to try some weird stuff with the new location. You just get accustomed to it. Mm-hmm. But like putting these random ones like cloning Vats, and in the past I used to say like, oh, if it's like a fun location like Nova Roma or whatever when you're drawing a card, I'm like, that's kind of cool. But we just had that one, and it's like, it was kind of cool, but like I'd rather not be there. Mm-hmm. Like it was all right. I like drawing cards, but like I'd rather just not have it, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, I was just curious. It wasn't like, it's not like we planned to talk about hot locations, but it's like, God, we got a Vats one today. It's a, so I got
good discussion to have. Let's bring awareness. Okay, we need a petition.
Exactly. We should make a petition. What other decks you been playing in the meta here?
Oh man, I've been playing so many things. Like I said, I like to switch up what decks I'm playing like all the time.
You're like me.
I've been trying a really stupid priority deck where I'm running things like Hawkeye, Titania, Medusa, Maximus. I have Mr. Fantastic, Crossbones, Omega Red. And the whole idea is that at the end of the game, I can throw down Goliath and win. This deck is not good, by the way. Do not play this deck. Would not recommend it. It loses to a lot of things. The deck that I've been having the most success with is the Thanos deck I made using Dazzler, Ant-Man, and Chimera. And the idea is that you just fill up the board and you don't get rid of your stones. And then at the end of the game, you throw down like a blue Marvel and your Thanos is 20 power. So it's pretty sick. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Do you play Valk in there, KIERNIMBUS?
Oh, yes, I do.
Nice. That's great.
Not because I get like a Cerebro thing going, but because it really helps against those pesky Destroy players that I love so much.
That's
great.
Now
with Cull Obsidian too. I mean, that's
another one too.
Absolutely, you get up proud.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, good transition. No big deal. Let's talk about Cull Obsidian.
All right.
Oh,
the
man.
brand new card, the most exciting card printed in the last few months. A 4/10. That's it. You can only play this where you have a 1-cost card, which is like
it's a tough
you just have to play a 1-cost card in your deck, and chances are you'll probably draw it. I mean, realistically, you probably have to have 2. If you have 3, right, you're always going to be able to play this guy down. If you have 2, like I forget the math. Someone did the math on Twitter, and it was like 88% of the time by like turn 3 or something crazy. You're going to be you very rarely won't be able to play him. This is just blatant, obvious power creep. Crossbones is a 4/8, and he has a way harder condition than this guy. And I don't want to hear the argument. He dies as Shang-Chi. That's a dumb argument. I'm sorry. He's a 4/10 for Christ's sake. This guy's great. He's a good card. I mean, he's a good card. He's not like he's not like a ton of fun. I'm not having like a ton of fun playing him. He's just like a big idiot that you just throw down, and it's kind of cool. But it's good. It's a good card.
Yep. Yeah, no, I saw Safety Blade posted a thing on Twitter where he was discussing the new card and like the optimal things to do with it, and I responded that I don't think that the card is bad at all. I think it's really good. Mm-hmm. I think the problem is that the downside of playing him is not a downside. It's like what are we doing right now? I'm actually a huge fan of Crossbones, and I know that he's a bad card. I know that he is, but I made it to Infinite with a Crossbones deck, and to see my poor man just get absolutely slandered by this big dumb idiot is it breaks my heart. I mean, what are we doing right now? Are we going to compare this to like Sentry, which gives you a -10 on the board if you play him? Dude, this is insane, and I get it. I actually do get it, because originally in the data mines, this was supposed to go with an Infinity Stone, which would have been pretty restrictive if you weren't playing a Thanos deck, right? But this, I don't think is enough. This guy is way too big for what he does.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, I think the comparisons are, I mean, we went over it the last few pods. We've talked about this guy. We knew he was coming. We knew the storm was coming. But, like Jessica Jones, Rescue, Darkhawk would be like the ones that come to mind, right? It's like 4-9, 4-9, probably 4-12 with Darkhawk, right? So, I mean, he's better than Jessica Jones, Rescue, Crossbones for sure, So we know that for sure. He's just better than those three. You could compare him to Darkhawk. In a Darkhawk deck, maybe he gets up to 12 or 14. But he also gets Enchantress and Shang-Chi, Darkhawk. So, and you have to play other cards to empower him. If you play nothing, he's like a 4-6. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. My original take on this card was that I wish he wasn't a 4 cost, and I kind of stand by that. I wish he was like a 3 or a 5 or something. Big dumb idiot at a 3 or 5. They don't have too many of those, especially I'm thinking about the 5. Like Devil Dino Ronin kind of comes to mind, kind of Red Skull, but they're all kind of specialized. All 3 of those cards they have their own decks, right? That to make them dumb idiots. There's no like 5-11, right? You just slam, or 5-12 or whatever. You just slam it down, and I think that would have been way more interesting than this bullshit. Like, this is just a bullshit card.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Kid, did you I know that you guys have spoken on this in previous pods, but what would you do to make this maybe work at a 410? Like, what would we have to do to this to make it similar but more difficult?
Erase Zabu.
Okay, that's a good
or
start.
2-1 costs.
Okay.
Like Miss Marvel, right? That's the Miss Marvel nerf. It was kind of interesting when they did that. I thought it wouldn't be enough on Miss Marvel. I mean, it kind of wasn't. She's still ridiculous, but it's restrictive, right? If you have to put 2-1 costs in a lane, like that's a pretty big restriction.
Or just like Crossbone should be a 4-9.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been singing that for months, brother. I don't know if it's happening, but I would love a 4-9 Crossbones.
Like 4-8 is ridiculous for him. Like I think it's fine to have a 4-10. I don't think it's fine that a 4-10 can become a 3-10 pretty easily. And I like Zabu, but like No Big Deal said, like printing all these overpowered 4-cost cards, it's kind of getting ridiculous, because like then you could play like Zabu, then him, then Scar. I mean, like what are you doing then? Like how do you beat stuff like that? It's hard.
Yeah, you only have one Shang-Chi in the deck.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting crazy with some absorbing or Grandmaster shit.
But yeah, I don't know how it changes. I think it's fine. It's kind of cool to have like big dumb idiots too. Like a 5-11 would be kind of cool. I mean, I don't think you could do a 5-12, because then like the Hulk is a 6-12. You just like shit on that guy.
I mean, we lost Maximus. Maximus was a 3-7, right? Maybe he's a 3-7. I mean, I don't know. I think that's reasonable. It's smaller than Gladiator, but easier condition, maybe less risky. Something like this, like a 3-7 where you need a 1 cost. Like, I think that's fine, right? Like, is that not a similar power level too? But the fact that it's 4, like you said, I mean, you just cuck your Crossbones, right? Like you basically said, you just cucking the poor guy. Like, I feel bad for him.
And like, do you make this a 4-9? Like he'd probably be fine at a 4-9, but then like, Crossbones kind of sucks. It's like,
I think if you're gonna do power adjustment on Cull, it has to go to a 4-8. I think 4-9 is the same card. It's the exact same card.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get Shang-Chi, so it's the exact same power level basically.
Yeah.
So
I think you have to put him to a 4-8 if you're gonna leave him at 4 and not do a more like a double restriction. Then I think he has to go to 4-8.
Yeah, and like
he'd probably be unplayable at a 4-8 though.
He would. Now for me, like I don't mind a card like this. The problem with a card like this is Zabu, to be honest. And I love Zabu, and I don't want Zabu to be changed. But I mean, it's coming to a point where like, man, 4 costs are just so much better than like everything. and then you could just make them 3, and it's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like, just to play 2 of them on the last turn is insanity. Like, if you're gonna play this guy and Darkhawk on the last turn, this guy and Shang-Chi, this guy and an Enchantress, like, you're slamming points and you're like teching. That's it's getting too silly. Like, a 4/10 is fine. It's just he can't be a 3/10. Like, his ongoing should be he can never have his cost reduced. Mobius.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Not his previous ongoing can never be destroyed, which was the data mine one.
Have you ever seen? Maybe it's because I'm one beer deep. I might be reaching here, but have you ever seen? Have you seen the meme where it's like Mike is a cheater, and it's like, look what you've done, Mike. What you're saying there reminds me of like Zabu, man. Zabu, look what you've done. You better change your ways. Or change your name. You never seen that meme, guys?
No.
If one guy listening has seen it, shout out to you, man. Zabu's got to change his ways.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do with that card. That card's like 60% of the meta now.
Yeah.
I've seen some people say that, like, and this would hurt my heart. I've been a Zabu enjoyer since the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but some people have been saying, like, okay, well, then you just make him a non-reveal, and then, but the problem with that is if you make him non-reveal, he's just Psylocke, and I don't know about that. So then you would have to overstat him,
yeah,
and at that point he might be a better card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of mystery there, like, because then the new strat might be doing Zabu and Psylocke on turn 4, and then you get to do the same thing, or you can do Wave and then Zabu, and it's Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, but I don't know what the best solution is. And I think KM Best actually talked about this, where it's like, they're making a new game. This is new. The fact that there are only 12 cards in the deck means that these power costs mean different things. Mm-hmm. And what we discovered is that 4 costs are dramatically stronger than 3 costs. And so you'll almost never play a 3 cost in a deck, but you'll throw 4 or 5 4 costs in a deck because they're insane. How do you fix that? I don't know. It's really difficult to decide how to go about it in a game where every turn matters so much.
Well, yeah, if the 4 costs actually cost 4, then it's like,
yeah,
I think it's fine, honestly.
True.
Because like then if you're actually paying 4 for this guy, like if you're actually paying 4 for Shang-Chi, if you're actually paying 4 for all these, for Darkhawk, then that's a real cost. You can't play another 4 cost right next to him, I think that makes it better, honestly.
Yeah, just think about like your turn 6. Like if your turn 6 is Cull Obsidian Jeff, like that's completely balanced. That's 13 power. That's not a big deal, right? But if your turn 6 is Cull Obsidian Shang-Chi, Cull Obsidian Darkhawk, Cull Obsidian Enchantress, Cull Obsidian whatever, insert 4 drop, right? Like even Crossbones,
Sure.
we can play both of them. Like that's pretty good. That's a lot of power, and it just gets out of control at that point.
Yeah, the thing I like to Zabu is the 2 changes that I liked are like just make it a 2-0 so people just don't play it as much because a 2-0 sucks. Mm-hmm. Adam Warlock, RIP. Or what I liked, I think I said this. I think when we were on Joe's show. Make him. I don't know if this would be too OP, but I like that. I would like to try this. Is just make the 5 cost cards cost 1 less.
You've changed Marvel Snap completely.
Yeah. I think it'd be a huge shakeup because is that OP to have the 5 cost cards cost 4? You can never play 2 of them.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll pull them up. You can never play 2 of them, right?
Yeah, and to KIERNIMBUS' point about Cam Best's point, it's like, the whole point of the fork drop is so you can't play 2 on the last turn. And Kid, you were just saying it. So if you have a 5, you'd be playing like a 5 and a 2 on turn 6, right? Or a 5 and a couple 1s. I don't know. It sounds reasonable to me.
Well, huge problem though. Sarah is a 5 cost.
Yeah, Sarah. Fuck.
Then every deck would be Zabu into Sarah, and then it would
be a lot of Mobius for sure, right? In the meta, Mobius
dude, it would be nuts. I suppose Sandman could finally shine.
Yeah, there you go. 4 cost
Sandman for Sandman. That's funny. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I guess Sarah would be a problem then, huh? I guess you could play Mobius. You could Enchantress it, right?
Yeah, well,
Rogue.
well, then, like, dude, I guess the problem is these cards are dramatically powerful in their own right. I mean, you've got Professor X
Yeah.
in this tier, you've got Iron Man in this tier, you've got Leech in this tier.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sarah ones is scary too. Like, yeah, I mean all the ones you named too, KIERNIMBUS, but yeah, the Sarah one especially because there's no real counter to it. Like, you can't rogue and enchantress everything. They're just gonna put Sarah and Zabu in 2 different lanes, and that's it. I mean, you can't do anything against that.
You
Right?
just take Sarah.
Well, yeah, and then then it's just the 5 costs that are discounted.
But
then
remember,
they
at
get
this
a turn of
point,
Sarah, right?
yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
At this point, it's turn what? It's turn 4.
Turn 5, right? By the
Yeah,
time
you get a turn of Sarah on turn 5. Is that so horrible? I don't know.
If you have another 5 costs in your hand, yes, because they're all 3 costs now.
You still can only play 1. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, even all the scenarios. You're not
Yeah, that
playing 2 5 costs.
Yeah, maybe that would be too crazy. I don't know. I'm trying to keep Zabu with Zabu's flavor because I love mana reduction and I do love Zabu. It's just they keep fucking printing these 4 drops that are ridiculous, and it's like I feel like Zabu is gonna take a stray here.
I think the actual answer is that you overstat him, make him like a 2/4, and then make him an on reveal. It would totally destroy a ton of decks, but it would make the card more balanced.
Yeah, that's what I said like a week ago. Was like just make him be like the next cost card. The next 4 drop you play is 1 less. But
Because then he would be.
Yeah, go on.
So sorry to interrupt you. I was about to say it would also be in line with what they said with Beast, which is that they're trying to move into, reduction being a temporary thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. But then, like you said, even Nerfherder brought this up. Was like then it's just like a Psylocke, right? Kind of, ish. Yeah, I don't know. Well, then what? You Zabu on 5, so then you can have or it's just like your next turn. You like on reveal. Your next turn, your 4 drops cost 1 less. Is that the on reveal?
Yeah. So like it would turn from a card that you throw on 2 to a card that you throw on 5, and it's still just about as good. And then if you throw again Psylocke and Zabu in the same deck, then on turn 2, that's when you throw the Psylocke down, and then you can play 4 cost on 3 again. So it's like, I mean, it just, I don't know. It feels like the problem is hard to solve with the design space that we have.
Yeah, so I think the first solution, to all those points is probably the best one, right? You just let's see what happens. Like, let's make him Adam Warlock, maybe hit a couple of these 4 costs. Like the kid suggested, just put Shang to 5. Like 5 cost Shang-Chi sounds really interesting to me, right? So if you have like a 5 cost Shang-Chi and a 2/0 Zabu, I think you solve a lot of the problems like just off rip, just with those 2 changes. It's 2 changes. And like it totally changes the meta, right? And let's see what the data looks like then with the Adam Warlock stat line,
Yeah, I like Shang-Chi at like a 5/5 or 5/6 or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, then you can't fucking Zabu him. Like, it's ridiculous. That card's too. He needs to be in the game. That card's good card, but like he doesn't need to be 3 costs.
yeah.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. You know what? Not talking about this card anymore, but I've been grinding a little bit of Jet's Phoenix Force deck. Have you guys ever played this deck before?
Yes. Not this one.
I'm just
It's got to be Jeet. I mean, the way he spells it, I know everyone's saying Jet, but no, if you're gonna spell it like this, you're Jeet. You're Jeet. Okay.
So Jet posted a like a 14-page PDF on Lambie's Discord on like he like wins tournaments with this Phoenix Fork stuff. Yeah, this deck I've just been I've been grinding a little bit of it, not too much. Now that my wife's gone for a couple days out of town, I'm home alone. I got some days off. I'm just gonna put in the work for this list. I think because it's so much fun. The little bit that I've been playing it. It's Deadpool, Forge, Ghost Spider, Nico, Carnage, Doctor Strange, Hulkbuster, Multiple Man, Venom, Phoenix Force, Taskmaster, and Eliath. And Eliath being the flex spot that can be like Human Torch and depending on what you want to do. But this deck has surprising amounts of power. It's ridiculous. You have to wait, be patient, and you could get like Deadpools that are really big, and then your Nikos can even be really big with Phoenix Force, and you can get like 100 power Nikos sometimes with like the doubling up and stuff with Hulkbuster. It gets kind of wild. But I don't know. I've never really been a Phoenix Force believer or enjoyer. Kind of hated the card for a long time. But like I'm starting to come around now because this deck's I'm having so much fun with it. Lose a lot, but it's a hell of a time. And if you go on like I would like just implore people to go and look at that PDF from Lambie's Discord because it's hilarious. It's like it's a nice piece of literature. And I've been having a blast with this. It even has links to like oh hey, this is when if you want to do a weird Ghost Spider Phoenix Force multiple man interaction. If you play Ghost Spider here and then move the multiple man, or like move the multiple man and then play Ghost Spider, he has like little videos that show what happens and explains it. It's wild. It's so cool, and I love it. I just want to get good at this deck because it's a lot of fun. So I don't know.
Yeah, I read like 2 pages of that PDF, and I can't believe how many lines there are. I just thought it was, hey, you're doing the multiple man thing, or you're doing like something, or like the Deadpool thing, right? That's it. Before it's like you're either doing Shuri Nimrod or you're doing the Phoenix Force thing, right? It's like, but he's like, no, there's like, you could put the Nico, double up the Nico, put the Hulkbuster before you double up the Nico. Nico doubles up, bring her back. You got a 412 Nico Phoenix Force flying around, Taskmaster Elias, let's go. It's like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, it's getting ridiculous. I think it is a little bit of a shame that, and I'm happy we called this out right away when it was announced. Why they hit Hulkbuster on the OTAs is
oh my god,
still beyond me. Like Jeet is out here grinding his cock off, makes a 14-page PDF, shares it for the whole world to see. He could have held this. He could have kept this inside and just won all the tournaments. Nobody ever would have been as good as him at this Phoenix Force deck. But he is a man of the people, gave it to the people. What does Second Dinner do? Nerf Hulkbuster for no goddamn reason. I feel bad for Jeep, man.
It's still good. He's still crushing with it. But yeah, he did say in the PDF that it's worse with as a 2/3 rather than a 3/5.
Yeah, he didn't deserve that.
No. And then another thing, Doctor Strange gets kind of silly because if you get a few multiple men out on a by turn 5, like he just pulls them all over and you fill up a lane just with Doctor Strange. It's hilarious. It's a hilarious deck. This deck's so much fun. It's tough to play. I mean, aside from the multiple man, destroy multiple man, Phoenix Force stuff, that stuff's easy. Like the little intricacies like that he has in the PDF is like, oh my god. Sometimes like I'm roping my opponent by mistake because I have the PDF open next to him. Like, oh, what do I do here? If I move Ghost Spider, I'm like, oh. I'm like missing my turn and stuff. I wish there was like a sorry email, be like sorry. But I guess that could get pretty toxic. That'd be fun, but there should be like a sorry.
More emails equals better, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This is the main deck I've been playing. I've been doing like some of the call stuff and Black Swan Thanos, some Zoo, like Black Swan Zoo's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know how good it is, but it's fun. I like when all the 1-drops are 0. It's hilarious. What do you think about the season pass card? What do you think about Black Swan, KIERNIMBUS?
It doesn't speak to me, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't speak to me because I look at that card, and then I look at Sarah, and I'm like, if Sarah hasn't made Zoo decks good, it's not because she can't make them 0. It's because cost reduction on those cards doesn't help. In my opinion, right? Because you're setting up what is she, a 3/5 right now?
Yeah.
So you're setting up a 3/5. In order to get the max amount of value out of that, next turn, you need to play a minimum of 3 in order to justify playing the 3 costs on the turn before. Otherwise, you could have just played those 3 1-drops. So, like, for me, she's cool, but definitely not something that I am personally invested in.
Yeah, I kind of like it as a season pass card. It's interesting. It's not like broken. It's not. It's not complete garbage either. Like it's kind of a cool. Like it's cool in Thanos. Like with the stones being 0, it actually legit helps. Like when you have lockjaw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's nice in Thanos list, and it's nice in some other random, like even bounce too. Now that Beast only works on 1 turn, this is like gives you another turn for the 1-drops to work as well when you bring it back with Falcon. So it's kind of cool. I don't know.
That's an
Thought I'd
interesting take though, and a cool way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Like, yeah, you're of course Zabu's good because we're reducing these freaking broken forecasts like we've been talking
Right,
about the
yeah.
whole pod. But yeah, I mean, reducing these 1-drops. I mean, does it do really much of anything? I mean, what did we ever have a problem playing out the 1-drops in the first place? I mean, that's not really, right?
I think
No.
and I'm not trying to say that the card isn't good. I do think that it's good. Cost reduction is always going to be good, and there are some combos in the game that I think really work well. I just personally don't see playing this card over, let's say, Beast, right? I
Yeah.
feel like I can get the same value out of Beast that I can this card, and I don't have to, if I were a free-to-play player, I would be a little cautious to try to invest my whole thing into this. But overall, I'm glad that it's a season pass card because, I mean, dude, some of these data mines are making me sweat so much. It's getting me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Keys will be spent in the next couple months.
Yeah. For sure.
That's a good question asked though. That's an interesting way to look at it. I never thought of it that way. So that's an interesting take for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about this event. This imbalance patch they had, the Power Couples Valentine's Day.
That's right.
I'll pull it up here. Let's see if I can find it. What do you guys think of it?
So the people, if people I've been playing this week, they did 10 couples. So basically they took 20 cards in the game. And when one of the cards is played, if you play whoever they're coupled up with, for loving, for Valentine's Day, they both get a buff of power, either 1 or 2, I think, across the board.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Let me just say this. I actually really hope that they do this more. Now, it is, I understand from like a sort of keeping it up with the news aspect, it can be a little frustrating sometimes. There are so many things happening in this game. Trying to keep track of these can be a little confusing. That being said, the creative decks that happen because of this are super, super cool. I love this event so much. I think it really opened the door to deck brewing that I haven't seen like this before. It's really, really neat.
Yeah, I like that. That's the one thing. That's the thing I like the most about this event. The one thing I kind of hated about this event, and it has nothing to do with this event, is that they skipped the OTA to do this.
Yes.
They made this imbalance patch. I wish they would have just balanced themselves with the OTA and then did this on top of it too. Because I don't know. I like the little changes, but yeah. So let's. Go ahead.
I was about to say, do you want to read them out for the listeners?
Yeah. So let's read them out. These are the lists of the couples and the kind of power they get when you play them with each other. So Angela and Sarah, they each get +1 power. Black Panther and Nakia, +1 power. Captain America and Agent 13, +2 power. Gambit Rogue, +2 power. Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, +2 power. Iron Man and Rescue, +1. Miles Morales and Ghost Spider, +1. She-Hulk and Daredevil, +2. You get that 612 She-Hulk, 112. Star-Lord and Gamora, +1 power. And Vision and Scarlet Witch, +1 power. Which the Vision at 5'9" has been friggin' annoying the last week. I'm like, damn it. KIERNIMBUS, what's been your favorite ones here?
I mean, I gotta be honest, I love having the excuse to play Captain America.
Yeah.
I was telling you I was playing this fair helicarrier deck. I was playing Captain America and Agent 13 in there. Really fun. I really liked it. I also really adore the fact that Daredevil and She-Hulk work together in this way, because it made me bring back the Daredevil Professor X combo, and holy moly, is that still good. I don't know why I've been ignoring it all this time. It's still really great to be able to see what your opponent is doing.
Yeah, and you can throw in a Star-Lord Gamora into that list if you really want to.
Absolutely.
Works pretty good with Daredevil as well.
Yeah. My favorite that I've been playing the most, Miles Morales and Ghost Spider. I have this move disruption list that I found, and with Arrow, Magneto, Kingpin, Ghost Spider and Craven, that kind of stuff. And Miles Morales, and Ghost Spider do pretty good in it. A 1/6 Miles Morales, is pretty damn nice. 1/3 awesome. Ghost Spider is pretty nice. Just randomly they just get when you play them, so it's pretty good. I like that one the most personally.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the Captain America and Agent 13 as well. I think it's sick and Loki. I played a little bit of Loki at the start of this event, and I like that one, and I like the Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic. just because it's +2 power on like small cards already. So it actually like feels like a 2/5 Invisible Woman feels like a really good card. And I never like, ever since they changed Goliath, the last change, I'm like, I'm never playing Invisible Woman again. Like, I don't see the point. I'm just gonna tell everyone to play Goliath. So but having her as a 2/5 is kind of nice, and it has some weird applications that I didn't even think about. Like, you could just hide all your Mr. Fantastic and your Miss Marvel, and you just hide all these ongoing cards behind her in the middle lane, and they literally can't do anything about that, except play Goliath with Prio. But in a deck like that, you're typically obtaining priority as well. So you got to at least fight for Prio, and 2/5 Invisible Woman helps you fight for Prio. So I thought that one, I didn't think I would care about that change, but I thought that was kind of cool. I mess around with the Gamora Star-Lord stuff too. It just feels like the same old lockdown list, but slightly better. So it's kind of fun.
You don't need Prio, by the way, with Invisible Woman. They could not have priority. It just kills. End of game.
Yeah,
Goliath just kills them either way. Yeah. But at least you get a 2/5 that beats the Goliath. So
right.
Yeah. +3 on the Goliath, I guess. Yeah.
Now, which one of these? We were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. What do you think could be, permanent? Like, if any of these that you could say, like, hey, like, because I don't know,
I'll go quick. Angela, Nakia, Captain America, probably not Agent 13, maybe +1 on Agent 13. Not Gambit or Rogue. I think they're fine there. Neither of those two. Rescue, but then she gets Shang-Chi, so that's a little spooky. So you probably got to leave her alone too. I wouldn't touch the move guys.
No.
Daredevil, maybe +1 actually, but he's already a pretty good card. Star-Lord for sure. And then maybe even Scarlet Witch as well.
I actually agree with all of those. I think that's really solid, right? Because if you mess with the value of any of these other cards, then they become egregiously overstated.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, I think Nakia especially, why is she at 3/3 exactly?
Yeah.
Like, the downside is that she's smaller than the rest of the 3-cost cards, right? Yeah. So a 3/4 is not going to break Nakia. And I also agree with Captain America, but we've been told many, many times how they feel about Captain America and Punisher. But I really liked playing Captain America and Agent 13 and getting that extra power. It was very cool.
Yeah, even Captain America, like, make him a 1. Maybe just give him 1 more power. He doesn't have to be 2. I would like 2. It clearly hasn't broke the game,
Yeah, Punisher should have got 2 for sure. But give a Captain America 1 because at least you have agency. It feels like a cool, fresh, fun new card in the game as a +2, right? And even with the +2, it didn't feel like broken, right? Like,
no,
it's like the way Dazzler kind of is now. He's similar power level to current Dazzler,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There aren't these like broken like 70% win rate Captain America decks running around, So like that's not happening. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree with those two. Yeah. Oh my God, Angela, please give her some love back. That poor card, man. She got owned. Nakia, yeah, we need some of the little scalers to get some power back because these big idiots are just taking over the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nakia for sure. I mean, she just sucks. But 3/4 wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, Gambit and Rogue are too much. Cap is good. Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic probably can't give them. But yeah, no, I agree with what you said. No big deal. That's good.
I mean, maybe Gambit you could go 3/4. I mean, I don't know. They just buffed him though, so I mean, I don't, but he doesn't feel that great at 3/3. It feels okay. But,
we'll see when Proxima comes out and people get their Gambits going.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a tight list for sure.
Yeah, I know. They're not gonna. Yeah. Gambit won't be good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think I agree with you, KIERNIMBUS. Like a lot of people have been brewing, different decks and stuff, and it's been kind of cool to see all these new decks, infuse into the meta. Albeit it's all temporary, so it's like a week. So
that's why I know it's tragic.
That's why I like the OTA. It's like we have to pretty much keep those.
Events are sick though in general. Like it is cool that they did an event, and like KIERNIMBUS said, like this is a cool event that it promoted. New deck brews and still kept the same game. Like I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! They did these events on like Master Duel, the online Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Always did restrictive stuff. So okay, you like it'd be like if you had to like okay for a week you can't use 4 cost cards. You know this is the full -4 week or whatever. Like this is the -4 event for all week in Marvel Snap. You can't use 4 costs. You know it's like the equivalent to that kind of thing. And this is like not like that at all. Where it's like you could still do whatever the hell you want, but you know a few of these cards get some love. So that was kind of cool how they did that.
Yeah, I like it. I like this. Yeah, more stuff like this would be kind of cool. I like it. I'm for it, man. All right, let's do anything else you guys want to say about this event.
No.
I'm
right.
good. Yeah, it was
Let's
awesome.
let's get to the broken card tier list.
Yay!
Let's see. Here we go. We have we're gonna do a tier list of the 4 cost cards. Let's see if this is
I'll give the people
me reshare.
that outline it. You know, if we got any new listeners, the way we do tier lists on this show is we don't prepare anything ahead of time, and we just pull up a tier list with probably all the cards in the game. So the kid's gonna have to dig through each one to try to find them. So you know, me and KIERNIMBUS might be talking and stalling during while he's finding the cards. Just to prepare everybody. You're wondering why the pacing is so strange while we're doing it. That's why. Pull back the curtain a little bit there. And
I like this setup here.
And we do it live, and we'll try to just discuss it between the 3 of us, and hopefully we could somewhat agree on a spot for each one. And people like OK Ninja on Twitter are going to get really mad at us if we put guys where he doesn't like. Or there was the one guy who was mad about Misty Knight. We had another guy. Ninja was really upset about Martyr. People are going to get mad. Guys, we're doing it off the top of our head. We have no data to back any of this up, and we're just trying to have fun and. Maybe shit on some cards or say cards are really good and give them some praise. So, tier lists are fun. And, if you have a different opinion, you might be right too. It's okay. You probably are right. And that's okay.
Yeah, we're a bunch of idiots.
That's right. Professional idiots.
Yeah,
we have a podcast.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I got a welt on my arm. That's from I went paintballing this morning. I got welts all over my body. All right. Well, what's the first one on this tier list here? Atuma.
Oh, did you skip absorbing or?
No, I'm not going in alphabetical order because on this site it's not alphabetical order. So
okay,
I will not be able to find it. It's going to be ridiculous.
Atuma's tricky. What do you think, KIERNIMBUS?
Oh,
Dude.
and we have sorry. We have the power creep tier, which is the S tier. We have A, B, and then dumpster tier.
Man, that's a lot of discrepancy right there between B and dumpster.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say about Atuma. I think Alex Kochia made me a believer in this card. Like, I think that this card is legitimately at least B. I would even argue it's A.
Okay, I was gonna say B, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for the Alioth reasons I outlined, and he is very restrictive, and he's a much more difficult condition to meet than all the other 4 costs we talked about. You can get a 4/9 like really easily, but just by playing Jessica Jones, right? Atuma, like you need Supergiant, Armor, or Invisible Woman, or he just dies. And if like Central Park comes up, like he's dead. And so unless you have Armor, of course, but
sure.
Or Zero's another one. So there are ways to do it. I think he's pretty good, but I would argue B. But I don't want to. What do you think, kid? Kid, you be the tiebreaker.
A B. He's a B, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
I think
tiebreaker.
He's gotten better. He's gotten better, especially like Gunny T, Gunny T's list, like Big Dumb Idiots, that kind of stuff. Yeah. He's good, and especially with Supergiant too. He's gotten better with those cards. But I can't call Atuma an A tier card. I mean, I just got to be honest.
KIERNIMBUS, to your point, if you asked me like 3 months ago, I would say dumpster for sure.
Yes.
So.
I think
moving up.
I'm really high on the card because of Alex's list, but I accept B. B is fine.
Okay. And we can put him higher B too. He doesn't have to be. He's not. Sure. He was dumpster, but I don't think he's dumpster anymore. I think he's better than dumpster.
Or maybe me get it wrong and maybe he's A, but we'll stick him B for now. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Next one I see here is Crossbones.
The boy.
Dude, it hurts my heart so much. But this is, I mean, if there's any dumpster tier card on this list, he's got to be there, right?
Yeah, as far as 4-drops goes, yeah, he's complete shit. He's a big pile of shit, and they just shit on him more by releasing Cull Obsidian. So they basically released that card and said, "Fuck you, Crossbones." Like 4-8. What a horrible stat line. What are they doing?
I want to point out too, KIERNIMBUS, my default avatar in Marvel Snap is Infinite Border Crossbones. I love it. I love Crossbones too, and
Solidarity.
it does pain me to dumpster him down here too. But he's so hard to play. You ever try to put him in a deck? It's so hard to not only play him, but then actually have him do anything in the game to win you the game. It's tough.
You know what's also insult to injury is that, like, with Crossbones, you have to be winning the lane at that point for you to play Crossbones, whereas Cull Obsidian, you can play a 1-drop on the same turn.
Yeah.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Even my camera's getting angry about this. I don't know what to do about it. It's insane.
Yes.
Well,
No, yeah, unfortunately, Crossbones, complete garbage.
Great.
All right. Oh, this next one should be fun. Should be really engaging discussion here. Darkhawk.
Power creep?
Yeah, he's just like S tier, one of the best in the game. No question about it. Just so good, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything more to say?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
He's just straight up one of the best cards in the game. Never mind 4-drops. Like,
Yeah.
he's just really good.
Yeah, nerfed him from a 1 to a 0. Did absolutely nothing. Maybe they should look at this card again.
I don't know. He's not like I don't ever feel like he's OP, right? I don't know. Do you feel like he's OP? Sometimes, I guess. But
yeah,
like,
I do. I do feel like he's OP. Yeah.
He's not a card that like that I'm like, oh man, I gotta clamoring for a nerf, because at least like
No, yeah, I'm not clamoring for a nerf, but I'm saying he might be overstated by one or two.
Yeah. The one thing that goes against him, I think, is, and maybe this doesn't, but like if you see Korg on 1, you're like, all right, you can already plan for the Darkhawk, right? Like, whereas like in these other cards, like like Cull, you don't know when the hell this motherfucker's coming down as a 4/10. It's gotta have like a 1-drop down. A lot of these other cards you don't know. This one, at least, like you see Korg, you're like, all right, I see what's going on here. You can look in your deck, how his power is going to be. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, go for it, man.
I have a thought here. We were talking about cards that were 4 that could be moved to 5. I think this fits with the 5 costs way better, right? You could even upgrade his power to be closer to like Dino or Ronin, and give him like +3 for every card in your opponent's deck. Because then he really is a big dumb idiot, and he's not like way more powerful than the rest of the cards in his tier, right? Like, and he's similar to Dino and Ronin in that you need multiple cards to sort of tee him up to the power that he's at.
Yeah,
I think where he's at right now is just way too strong.
Yeah, I think something like that would be a massive step in the right direction to solving the 60% play rate Zabu problem. Just as a quick aside, I was playing the Zoo deck today. It randomly has Rogue in it. I feel like every turn 3 I was roguing a Zabu, which it felt kind of nice actually. But cause I have 2 4-drops in there. But yeah, I mean, every deck has Zabu, so that's a huge nerf to Zabu if you move Darkhawk to 5. Without actually
I like it.
The card.
That's actually kind of a cool take.
Yeah. I'd be super down for that.
They didn't change Captain Marvel here, but Captain Marvel's what, a 4/4, right?
4/4, yeah.
This also a 5/6.
This also hurts my heart. Why is she not a 4/5? Why did they nerf her? I don't understand it. She's got to be dumpster.
Okay, good. All right.
I think as a 4/5, I think she was A tier. Legit good card. And but I think as she currently is, I agree. I think she's dumpster.
Well, they nerfed her before Loki, right? Because she was really good as a 4/5 in August when it was all little movers. Angela wasn't nerfed, that kind of stuff. So she actually did work in that meta. Then Loki came in September, and it was like everything, it fucked the whole game up for a few months. And they kept her at a 4/4. I don't know why. You're absolutely right. Her at a 4/5 is not bad.
I'd love
this would not break the game.
I'd love to show up with a Kingpin Craven deck and just throw a 4/5 Captain Marvel in there. I think it'd feel great. But I think she's like unplayable at 4/4s right down there, Crossbones.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Oh no, you do your thought first.
I was just gonna say, in August, she was pretty damn good as a 4/5. Like with the decks that were going on, like there wasn't a lot of stuff that was like power creeping her. But now she's been power creep so hard, it's like a 4/4 is just absolute garbage.
And to that point, right? I told you guys I like to swap the decks that I'm playing. I really like to brew. It's like my favorite thing to do in this game. I tried making Marvel. I tried making Captain Marvel work in a deck that was based off of like hand buffing, where it's like, okay, I'll throw Nakia, I'll throw Forge in there, I'll throw Okoye, and we'll have a huge Captain Marvel. Still felt terrible, like because why try to make a 4/6 that can win you the game when you could just throw down a 4/10 that already wins you the game, right?
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah,
it's a hard sell. I think 4/5 is manageable because you could argue, like, okay, well, if you throw a Forge on that, then it's a 4/7, or I guess a 5/7 since you're throwing in the Forge. That's like acceptable. It's not acceptable to put that many points into a 5/6 again, right? At 5/6, she was bad. If you're trying to make her good with Forge, that's right where it was again. So yeah, sad to see her there.
Yeah. And I guess the other one too that they didn't change here that I'm noticing now is Black Cat, right? Black Cat's a 4/9. So as a 4/9, where do you guys have Black Cat?
I'd say A tier personally.
I'd say B because she's only played in Hella.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with KIERNIMBUS.
Yeah, the kid. So yeah, the kid has similar criteria to you, KIERNIMBUS. My thought. Now we can put her in B. It's fine. But my thought with cards is like, if she's like amazing in the one deck and it's a tier 1 deck, then I personally don't care about versatility too much. Like on the last list, we did 1-drops, and like Forge was mostly used in, just a couple of the top decks, but it's like, he's unbelievable in those decks. So, for me, he was like a crazy high ranked. But yeah, she's only a Hella card. Maguai did a deck a couple days ago, a really cool brew with not Hella, but had Black Cat with Black Knight in like a consistent kind of mid-range discard deck is pretty powerful.
Interesting.
Kid used to play one. Safety Blade or Kraken Null. It was Kraken Null's Ghost Rider deck, remember?
Yeah, Jund. His Jund list is unreal.
Yeah, so Black Cat kind of fits in those kind of decks now that she's a 4/9. And she's pretty good in those two, but it's really just I'm grasping, it's 2 decks, so yeah. I would say A because she's powerful, but I understand if you guys think, hey, she literally goes only in 1 deck. I mean, you're right, so I can't argue with that.
We can revisit it. Later. We'll see what's in the A tier and stuff like that. And if it's like, if there's a bunch of shit cards in the A tier compared to her, then we'll be like, all right, we'll move her up,
Yeah.
I think right now, like, she doesn't feel like an A tier, but 4/9 is good.
Well, you were saying yes last week, Kid. Remember, you're like, oh, they discarded the Black Knight. Fuck, you know what I mean? Like
the Black Cat,
the Black Cat. I'm playing a game. It's turn 2. I see Black Cat. And I'm like, fuck. Well, yeah, there's a reason because she's awesome. That's why you're sweating.
No, I'm sweating because I know Hella's coming.
Exactly.
I'm like, fucking Christ, what the hell's gonna happen? I'm like, I'm about to get owned right now. There's nothing I can do to combat this Hella that's about to roll me.
Yeah, she's a rock star in that deck. But yeah, it's okay. All right, I'll put her at B for now. There's no versatility.
All right, good. Who's next?
Not Crystal.
Dracula.
Not Dazzler. Oh my god, 4-cost Dazzler. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the old Dazzler, the worst card in the game. Dracula.
This is tough.
This is tough too.
I'm trying to think.
What do you guys think?
So
I think go ahead.
Okay, and maybe nobody else is gonna be a little pissed off of this, but I think he's an A tier card.
What do you think I think he is?
No, only because like he's like not as versatile as well, but I think he's a little more versatile than Black Cat. I mean, he's good in destroy lists. There's the Dracula dump lists which are coming out now. He's a 4/1. He's pretty good. Yeah, I like him. Discard lists. The one guy that won the tournament or came in second in the tournament. Put him
also
in
Hella
right?
lists.
Yeah, he's in Lockjaw lists. He's in Hella lists. He's pretty fucking versatile. He's an A tier card. He's good.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, where he's at currently, I don't love him in Hella personally, but yeah, he goes in a lot of lists. I think Dracula's a phenomenal card. Like, I think the change was like a weird side grade. I don't really understand the last change. where they give him 1 power and he doesn't go at the end, or I don't know. It's still just Dracula. And yeah, I'm happy. I think they both belong in A personally, but yeah, Dracula A sounds good to me. He's a sick card. I mean, this guy is just a massive power, and
Yeah,
you can't get Shang-Chi. So
I was gonna mention too that like, yeah, he's so, you wouldn't think that his effect would be able to be spread across a multitude of decks, but it really does, because the threat of Dracula is almost worth the card itself. Like, if you throw Dracula in a lane by itself, you're telling your opponent, challenge this, I dare you.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, you're like, is it going to be 20 or is it going to be like 3? It's like
it's a scary card for sure.
He's another one of those cards where like your opponent's sweating when you put him down.
Yeah, awesome card design. That's a great card.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
All right. I mean, no discussion needed.
Let me just put Drax in the dumpster tier where he belongs.
Yeah.
And we'll move on here.
Move on to the next one.
Tragic.
RIP Drax.
Enchantress, who's a 4/5, not a 4/4 here.
Oh, this is actually tough.
See, I've been seeing a lot more Rogue recently, and when you talk about Enchantress, you got to talk about Rogue, right? Because there's always the trade-off. Do you want the 4-cost Enchantress to shut down something, or do you want the Rogue to steal it? I think it's an A tier just because it's a tech card that can win you the game, right? Like, that can't be ignored. Like, a Tuma by himself is not going to win you the game. I think Enchantress can win you the game by herself.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how big the power creep tier spans, right? Because I think if we did put her in the power creep, she would be near the bottom of it. Just because I think cards like Shang-Chi, Darkhawk, and maybe even Cull Obsidian are all better than her. But yeah, I think at least A tier for sure. I think you prefer her to Rogue because, I mean, she's 5 power. And, if you're playing Marvel Snap in the year of our Lord 2024, you probably have Zabu in your deck, right?
Yes.
So, she's a 3/5 basically. So,
yeah,
it's probably better than the 3/2 that is Rogue, right? So, I mean, Rogue obviously can swing a game like crazy, but Enchantress nukes the entire lane too. So, you go up against these Tribunal decks, Ench just auto win against decks like that, right? And very reliable. A lot of people will play 2 ongoing cards in the same lane to dodge the Rogue. Like if you're playing a Loki player, they're playing Rogue because she's a 3-cost, and they want to play Loki on 4 a lot of the time. So it makes sense for the Loki player to be playing Rogue instead, and you can kind of dodge Rogue, but you can't dodge an Ench. She's inevitable unless you got Cosmo or something. But yeah, what do you think, kid?
Yeah, everything you guys said, I agree with 100%. I think she's A tier card. Yeah, she's really good. Especially with all the OP ongoings. She's just an awesome card. Great tech card. She often does win games when you play her.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, where's the next one here? Ghost Rider. Looks like.
I love this card so much. I also love Ghost Rider.
I kind of do too. I love this card. So I'm gonna try and be objective.
I think it's B.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a B. It's not a dumpster card, I don't think, because it's got a couple of decks that it's half decent with, but it's not a good card by any means. But it's a really cool effect. I like him at a B.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good card. I think it's not broken at all. I think Zabu makes him like. I think without Zabu, he would be like a bad card probably. Anti synergy with Hela. He pulls the card out, and Hela can't bring that card back as well. So you have to kind of get creative whether you want to play Ghost Rider or Hela in your list. Some people, YOLO play both, but yeah, I think it's just a B tier card. I think he's a fair. People overuse the word fair, but I think he's fair.
Yeah,
I've been a Ghost Rider enjoyer since the very beginning, but it's because I'm a huge fan of Ghost Rider the character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can do a lot of creative stuff with a Ghost Rider deck, but it's very easy to argue that why use Ghost Rider that requires a setup and for you to play him when Dracula just does it by himself? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing a lot more work to get the Ghost Rider effects than for Dracula. There's pros and cons, obviously, too. Like, you can play Ghost Rider into Death's Domain, which is really cool. But I'd say overall, if you're comparing these cards directly to each other, Dracula is like Ghost Rider plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they made him like, if I don't know if this would be too broken or not, but like any card that was destroyed or discarded, maybe, you know,
Ooh.
that way there's like a little bit more agency, you know, because a 4/3 is like a pretty shitty card, right?
Hmm.
But like maybe you destroy something that's big, and you know, or maybe like someone killmongers a 1-drop and you get screwed with your Ghost Rider. I think it's more interesting, and that way, you know, he doesn't only have to be. Yeah, I don't know. I like that personally.
I don't want them to change it personally. I think
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
I think
he's
it's
a good.
cool.
He's great how he is, and you know they should be nerfing the cards better than him and buffing the cards that are in the dumpster tier. You know, that's I like Ghost Rider because like KIERNIMBUS point, like there's some cool plays. Like one that comes up a lot, and you know Zun's got to top rank 1 with using Ghost Rider, right? And one of the main ones is Magneto. There's a huge one, you know, that the kind of like Dracula doesn't get that. You can play a 4-cost 4/15 Magneto, or with Zabu, that's a 3/15 Magneto. That's insane play, right? And you know, Magneto does crazy work in the current meta that we're in. I mean, that's why we're making this 4-cost list in the first place. You move these guys around to where your opponent doesn't want them to be, and you can create a lot of grief.
Yeah, he's a fun card.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Hell Cow.
Dude, this is weird because I don't think that it's a garbage card, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you could argue, especially with Zabu, a 3/8 feels really good as long as you play it on the last turn.
Mm-hmm.
And you could even argue that like Hellcow works as a backup MODOK in a lot of lists. Like if you're not confident on drawing, or you don't like playing decks that rely solely on one card, you can throw Hellcow and MODOK in a list, and it's kind of like a backup. I would say bottom of B. I don't think that it belongs in the dumpster tier.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I think if we had a C tier, he'd go in there below the 3 that we have. But he also feels like clearly better than Crossbones, Marvel, and Drax, right? So yeah, it's almost like bottom of B tier with our current format.
Do you want me to make a C tier?
No,
I just have to click a button. It's very easy.
I don't.
Okay.
Here, I'll let you decide, kid, because you gotta.
No, you guys both said B. I hate this card. I think it's a dumpster card.
He's 4/8 though. He's 4/8.
It never played. What list has you played Hellcow in? Name one list that is relatively competitive that anyone plays Hellcow in.
I would huge counter argument. If you don't own MODOK, you absolutely play this card.
Well, yeah, but then he's still a dumpster. He's still not good. I don't think.
I think that he's good.
Yeah, I'm not a discard guy though. I'm not a discard guy.
That's fair, and that is absolutely fair. I would say if you want to add a C tier, ABC sounds cool to me.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get Hellcow in the C. We're gonna find out next week. You know, if discard 2 has some juice to it. Discard 2 plus Electro plus 3/5. It might be a bad card too. If that card's bad, then maybe we got to revisit this and throw Hellcow in the dumpster. The rest of
cards. I agree 100% with the C tier. I would take C tier because he's not shittier than Drax. He's way better than Drax.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a 4/8 with a condition that you can ignore on the last turn, right?
That's true, yeah. But Crossbones sucks. For Crossbones.
So sad for Crossbones.
All right. I gotta find another one here. Jessica Jones.
Man. Is this not the definition of a B tier card?
I like it. Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely a B tier card.
It's playable, but there's 4/10s in the game now. So or even 4/15s if you really want one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to argue that this card is unplayable. I think it's completely playable. It's just you can do better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a good card, especially in lockdown lists. Like 4/9's no joke in the Storm lane, right? Like it's a good card. It's not a great card. It's not an amazing card. It's not power creep. It's a good, solid card that I'm happy to play once in a while.
I have a really cool variant.
Dump her as a 4/8 though, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, now that they buffed her, I think and they nerfed Shang-Chi, I think she's great. Or she's not great. She's
I think that a 4/9 is in a really good spot right now. So
yeah. And like very easy condition, right? Yeah. Like just very easy condition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her only restriction is you can't play her on 6. That's literally it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it.
Juby.
I love Jubilee.
Jubilee.
I love Jubilee.
I don't think she's a dumpster. I'm just putting the cards there for now.
Yeah, that's fine. Man, dude, this might be being a little generous here, but I feel like an A tier card. She's played in a lot of lists.
I agree. I think she's below A tier. I like her a lot.
I agree as well. I was gonna say
Sick.
A tier. Jubilee's
Sick.
crazy, man.
I love her.
You know, Lockjaw is like two of the top decks in the game are have Lockjaw right now. Jubilee's very very similar effect to Lockjaw, right?
Very high rolly card, but
Yeah.
and I heard this take before, and I really like it. If you build your deck to have cards that you want on the board, Jubilee is just an auto include, right? Like it's just she's a 4-cost whatever you need her to be. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and not to mention, not only gets reduced by Zabu, but also Ravona.
Yeah.
Yes,
So she can go to Ravona list too, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
it's like a non-conditional Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and she's I don't know. This is completely off topic here, but some of my favorite base art in the game. I love her. I love her base variant. It just reminds me of like the old X-Men. It's great.
It's awesome. Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I think she's an A tier card. She's great. She's in a good spot right now.
I agree with you guys, but I do think she's great as she is as a 4/1 as well. I hope they keep her the same.
Yep.
Yes.
Just
very high rolling, right?
well-designed card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, she's not broken. She doesn't need to be changed. Let's see. What do we got here? If you see one, let me know. The next one.
Miles Morales, I guess. Again, you skipped over.
Oh yeah,
I
Miles.
Yep. Sorry, he's a 1 in my eyes.
Yeah, you think he's a 1, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think about Miles? Go for it.
I think Miles is tough. I think it's either A or a B, but probably a B.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. As a 4/5, extremely underwhelming, and as a 1/5, it's like it's good, but it's not like blowing my socks off. I can get a 1/6 by playing down Hood, right? So I don't know. I'd say maybe top of B. I feel like his condition is fairly easy if you build your deck around it, and 1/5 is good.
Yeah, you talked me into B as well. You're right, because it's like he's not winning you the game even when he hits you the condition, but he does feel really good as a 1/5. It can't be Killmonger.
Yeah. I like him. I like him in the B tier as well. He's not super great. I mean, he is a great card, but like move is kind of shit. So like I can't put him in the A tier. If move was really good, I mean, he would probably be in the A tier maybe, but I don't know. He's a good card for what he does. And he's not a C tier. I don't think he's just good. He's really good, especially as a 1/6 now with the power couples.
yeah, he does feel really good right now too.
Oh, we got Moon Girl.
And then I got Moon Girl. This one's kind of tough. Because like she can be really good and she can be really shit sometimes. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think she's B.
I was thinking A for the same reason that we put Jubilee in there. The high rolls are insane.
Yeah.
But the low rolls are just okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is she as good as Jubilee, Enchantress, and Dracula though? I don't think so.
I think of those She-Hulk decks and I'm like, how could those are instrumental with Moon Girl. But I think if we're going off of the argument that like you're not throwing Moon Girl in every deck in the same way that you would throw like Enchantress, for example, I guess B would be fine.
Yeah, even though She-Hulk decks, like they're not like top of the meta right now either, right? Like if they were like some of the best decks in the game right now, then I'd say okay, she's like an A tier card for sure, you know. But they're like okay, you know. When she works, she's great, and you know.
I guess the main issue with her is the surprise factor. Like it's hard to get cubes with Moon Girl, right? Like you play against somebody decent, they know if I can't beat 2 She-Hulks or 2 discounted abominations, like I'm just leaving, right? Because it's very telegraphed. You're playing around 4. You skip 5, like it's like 2 turns telegraphed, right? But I mean, you're winning the game when on 6 for sure. So that makes her pretty good. Yeah.
I think that's good then.
All right, Khazar.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing Mr. Negative. Sorry.
No, I grabbed 2. I grabbed 2 while you were talking.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Yes, Khazar needs to go in Kazoo decks, but I think it's a definition of C tier card.
Mhm.
In
I
order
agree.
to play Khazar, you are sacrificing your deck by playing like 6/1 costs in order to make him like a 4/10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I thought for sure he would be in C tier. Yeah. I don't think he's like he's not like Drax. Like I'd rather play him over Drax, but like
Yeah.
yeah, he's not a B tier card at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I played some Khazar today. I was and I enjoyed playing him. I thought he was doing some work in this Zoo deck that I was playing. I was debating between Dumpster and C. I think as a 4/4, he just doesn't quite do enough. I think that's one of the core issues with the Zoo deck is Khazar himself. Because I think Blue Marvel is a good card, you know? Like I think Blue Marvel's like just a legit good Marvel Snap card, and Zoo's got some pieces that are decent. I think 4/4 Khazar to only buff 1-drops. It's kind of a restrictive buff, and
Yeah.
it doesn't buff. Say you buff 4 cards, he's a 4/8. Like that's
Yeah.
dog shit, isn't it? Is it not? And you had to play 4 1-drops, you know. So I mean, you have to Squirrel Girl, you have to Shayna, you have to like pop off with all these, and it has to be 1-drops. You only have 12 spots on the board. Ah, man, I don't know, man. I think he needs a power. I think he needs a legit buff in an OTA, base power, or lower his power and give +2 to all 1-drops. I think that would be way more interesting, actually. Maybe make him like a 4/3 or a 4/2 and give +2 to all 1-drops. Throw an Onslaught on there to get these crazy 1-drops just swarming. That it doesn't sound like kind of a fun, interesting deck. This card, I agree with you guys on C, but I think he's borderline dumpster, and it's just something to think about.
I agree with everything you said. Yeah, you have to do a lot of work to get him to the same numbers as like Jessica Jones. So yeah, it's a necessary for an archetype, but Blue Marvel plus Onslaught is kind of just better if you ask me. So
yeah, Blue Marvel buffs everything. He buffs all the 2s, the 3, everything. Your Black Swan's a 3/6, you know.
Yep.
Your Khazar's a 4/5.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like him in the C tier. Mr. Negative, this is going to be an interesting one. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is a tough one for me. I don't even know how to look at this.
So, okay, I'll start. I play a lot of Mr. Negative. I love this card. I would say C tier. I think you just judge it by how good the Mr. Negative deck is currently. And man, one day we could be to the moon. He's at his moments in time. 4 -1 for what he does. You still have to draw the cards, right? And then to my point with Moon Girl, like if you see a Jane Foster and a negative, you're not staying. Nobody's staying in the game. You play Zabu, negative, a card, Jane Foster. You are not losing 8 cubes to that unless you're like high that day, you're on edibles or something, and like you're just like, yo, I'm big chilling, like I'm not really paying attention to what's going on. All right, now you're gonna donate to the Jane Foster negative players. It's about to drop Null, Arnim Zola, Ironheart on you in the same freaking turn.
Blob
like,
now.
Yeah, Blob. Blob's a negative. Tough to get to 15 though, probably. Well, at least he starts at 06. So he's got a good head start. But I would say C, but what do you guys think? This is a very tough one, and that's just my initial thoughts.
See, it's hard to talk about Mr. Negative without talking about the deck, because he's a card that relies on the deck that you build.
Yeah.
And
100%, yeah.
I think with Ravona, he's gotten better. Legitimately. I think if you have a Ravona negative deck, you have alternate play lines where you can still win the game a good chunk of the time. But as a card, it's so polarizing. I think anything higher than B is being generous.
Yeah, I don't think it can be higher than B. Not the way he is now or anything like that. Maybe in the future he might get a little better. And when they have more cards and stuff, his deck can be okay. I like him top of C.
Sure.
I like him top of C.
I would say too. I think he was borderline A when he had 2/0 Hit Monkey. I think 2/0 Hit Monkey was the best card in the deck because you could play it with negative, and if you do zap him, he's a 0/2. But if you don't zap him, you still play him on the last turn for 2 with a bunch of cheap cards. And man, Hit Monkey just did crazy work in that deck. You play it with Wong. Like, you know, you could get to, you know, double, you know, just go crazy. Like, oh man, it was a beautiful time. The deck felt really good and really high win rate, high cube rate at that time. But yeah, I don't see a build now. Like, if the Jane Foster build is the best build, I don't really believe in that build, because I think you just retreat when you see the Jane Foster. And yeah, I think that's and now Super Giant exists too. So.
Yeah, I'm happy with him in B or C tier, like low B, high C. Like either one's fine to me. I just think he can't be an A, and I wouldn't put him in like the upper things of B. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave him here for now, and then, you know, if we want to come back to it, we come back to it.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, he's a fun card though. He's a fun as hell card.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love playing that card, man.
And I don't think they need to change him either. I think just, you know, one day we're just going to have some cheap cards that are OP, and the negative's going to start popping off again.
That'd be great. All right. Let's name more.
I mean, is there any argument we can make for C?
No.
Dubster.
I can't.
I'm trying to think, is there like a single deck where you know what the problem is that Shang-Chi exists. Okay. You can't you can't protect him with anything. And so he just dies, unfortunately. An early game though, I have heard like early Marvel Snap meta, getting Namor and playing a Namor deck is really solid, because the only thing that can contest a Namor at that level is like a dino, and you can throw your dino somewhere else. So it's, you know, it's pretty solid there.
Yeah, I think he's really good. Like Series 1, Series 2 grind. Like he's an awesome card. But like as a real card in the game for counting all the cards, he's complete garbage. He's horseshit. You know, he'd be an interesting one to have Cull Obsidian's old ongoing text. Ongoing cannot be destroyed. You know, that would be interesting, because then he's just a 4/11, right? Yeah. Then you just put him in but he has to be by himself. If you put any other card there, he's a 4/6. He's horrible.
You can't miss Marvel with him or anything. Yeah.
I actually really like that. That would be cool to see, because they the buff to Black Knight I loved, by the way. I was a Black Knight enjoyer before the buff. After the buff, I was like, this feels amazing. This is awesome. Like, you have to put a lot of work into this. I think it's fair that it can't be messed with. I think that would be nice to see for Namor too, right? I mean, you're dedicating a lot to that. So
yeah, you're giving up a lane. You're like, hey, this lane's only gonna have 11 power, and it's gonna cost, you know, probably 3 energy, because you're gonna play him in a Zob list.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if that's too broken. Maybe that's too broken. I don't know. But
it's an interesting card though. We'd be trying out Namor decks if that was the text, and I don't know if they'd be good, but it'd be interesting for sure. Yeah, I think that's a really cool change. I'm gonna. You said you can't see an argument, KIERNIMBUS, for a C tier. I'm gonna throw one out there. It's 3 words. Okay, and tell me what you think. His pixel art.
As magnificent as it is.
Power creep tier. Put him up there.
He's got a great pixel.
Yeah. No, he's just unfortunately just for like the infinite game and stuff like that. He's just like too much of a dog shit card. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah. But he's cool. I like it. I wish he was better.
Yeah, it's a cool concept of an effect. For sure. Yeah.
All right. This is brand new card that came to Marvel Snap last week. Omega Red.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this card?
I think it's A tier.
I agree. I think I agree.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. If like I would say low A, high B, but I'm happy with him being in an A tier. I mean, he seems pretty good right now.
Just seems like the definition of like a good card, you know? Like
yeah.
Relatively easy condition, but definitely beatable condition. You know, 4/11 is not like game breaking, but it's really good. And yeah, I mean, you know, he can be countered. You know, there's plenty of way you could just play in the lane, or you have Enchantress or something, right? So
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good card.
I mean, the change to him was so elegant too. I'm really happy with the decision that they made, because his old condition was just so restrictive. And the +4 power was nice, but at the time we also had Miss Marvel. And when you talk about this card, you have to compare the two. I really like this change. I think it's really great.
Yeah, this is awesome. I like him. Yeah, he's definitely A tier card.
Yeah, Balance team knocked that out of the park on that.
I'll say they nail it. They nail it every now and then. That you're just like, wow, this is really cool. Like the blob change, I thought was really cool too. The way they nerfed him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a cool card, but they didn't nuke him into the ground. All right. If you see one, let me know.
More boy Orca out there chilling. Oh, rescue.
Rescue. What do you guys think about rescue? You guys talk about rescue. I'm gonna try and find more, so I'm not scrolling.
Valentine, lover couple rescue. No, we don't have to. Might be worse. I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, is it C or dumpster? I think that's the discussion, right?
Yeah.
I think it's C. It's playable.
Yeah.
I would play this card in a deck.
You could Prof X on her. That's pretty good.
Yep. That's solid.
You know, it works with Zabu. 3/9, easy condition to meet.
Now the downside is it's just 4/9 is good. It's just it's very telegraphed, so your opponent knows that it's going to happen if you play rescue, and it can also be beat by Shadow King, Valkyrie. Throw out 100 other cards here.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to argue that she's better than a lot of other 4 costs. But she's not worse than Crossbones or Drax, right? Like Drax's effect is harder to land, and he's only a 4/8. Mm-hmm. This is something that you can control, and it's a 4/9. So yeah, that's where I feel.
Yeah, I guess my main comparison would be like Jessica Jones, but I guess you can't play a Prof X on top of Jessica Jones, so yeah, I mean they fulfill a different purpose, right? Jessica Jones restricts you from playing there the next turn, whereas Rescue forces you, and that says you have to play there the next turn. So it's almost like the kind of opposite that way, and they were both 4/9s. Jessica Jones just feels easier to play. Kid, you think what do you think about Rescue?
I think Rescue is probably C tier. Yeah. I mean, she's like Jessica Jones, but harder to play. I think. Mm-hmm. Like a worse Jessica Jones.
More situation, a little bit more situational.
A little bit more situational. Like I'd rather play Jessica Jones over Rescue almost any day, unless I'm trying to scam Prof X, which we're not doing these days anymore. But yeah, I think she's an okay C tier card. I wouldn't put her in dumpster because she's not as bad as like Drax, right?
4/9's nice. A consistent 4/9 is still pretty nice these days.
Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know. Do you guys think C? Do you think C is okay for her?
Sure.
Yeah, feels good to me.
Yeah. All right, Sentry.
A.
Yeah, I think this is an easy A tier card, right? Especially with Annihilus. Before
he's just
Annihilus,
gotten so much support. Yeah.
Yeah. Before Annihilus, he's a dumpster card, but now Annihilus, he's an A tier. Like it's nice to see like these cards, like brand new card that you get to play with. Yeah. He's great. Yeah. What can you say? He's a 4/10 that can turn into a 9. What is it? 26. When you play Annihilus, so it's like, whenever Sentry comes down, your opponents are forced to just fill up the right lane because they're like, shit, that the Annihilus is coming. So yeah.
Well, and like you could even argue that before Annihilus came out, I think this card was slept on.
Maybe
because there are some really easy combos you can do that work similar to like Typhoid Mary, right? There are combo cards that just make this a 4/10. Like 0, you got Cosmo. And you can mitigate the -10 with like a Carnage or a Deathlock or whatever. So I think that he's extremely playable. And in fact, more often than not, he's just a 4/10 with upside thanks to Annihilus.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Dexter was pounding the table pre Annihilus Sentry decks. He was playing them all the time. Yeah, and to your point, you play with Carnage. You could play Beast. You could do like a Beast bounce. And back then, Black Widow was a 2-cost card. So you're bouncing your Black Widow, but you could go Black Widow on the Void lane, bounce back to the Void. So now you don't have to deal with the -10. Or Viper wasn't a freaking nerfed for no reason.
That's right.
Too, so
that's right.
Actually, play Viper as well. So. He was. You're right. Maybe he was slept on. I didn't mess around. I think it took me a while to unlock him. He's a Series 3 card, right?
When he came out, obviously he was a brand new Series.
Oh no, he was. Yeah, he was 4 and 5 he was 4 for a while, right? Yeah.
Yes. He was 4 for quite a long time.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have the card. That's why I never got to play with him back then.
Yeah. I was a pretty big fan. I threw him into a Destroyer list, and you just go Sentry, Professor X on the left lane, and then Destroyer on the right lane, and it's easy cubes.
Yeah, that sounds sick. You're playing armor too, protect him from the cheat. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super Scroll.
I love Super Scroll so much. I don't think you can argue that he's higher than B.
Oh, I was gonna say Dumpster. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, no,
Really?
Dumpster.
Whoa. What? Okay, I need to know
That
then.
sucks.
I need to know then. What decks are you playing him in?
None. That's why he's Dumpster. I feel like we only play when the meta gets so degenerate that you get a bunch of ongoing cards and then you just throw him in like Thanos list. The counter. He's like a counter to the counter, basically. But I don't know. I've never had like great success with him. I'm happy to take him out of the dumpster if you like him.
Maybe I can argue for C then, since you guys
okay.
aren't believers in.
All right, let's just
Super
play the
Scroll here.
difference, and just
Okay, so hear me out.
Yeah.
Here are the decks that Super Scroll counters right now. Almost all of them. And here's why. They're all running super greedy discount cards.
Mhm.
We're talking Zabu, Sarah. You've got Ravona now to add to that mix. You have Living Tribunal decks that you can counter with one card.
Mhm.
That's pretty sick. You can also copy their big cards like Ronin or Devil Dino. There's a lot of cards that really benefit, especially if you compare them to like mid-game cards. You're copying their Darkhawk, you're copying their Mystique, you're copying so many in the meta right now. I could hear that he might fluctuate from now or later, but if you don't play Super Scroll, it's not like you're missing a ton there. Your deck is probably pumping out more power anyway. I really think that he's at minimum a C.
Yeah, I think that's a good pitch. Let's get him in the C tier.
Right.
I think I haven't played enough. You know better than us. Like I haven't played enough with him. Every time I've tried it, it's felt like, why don't I just put Enchantress instead? And then I just put Enchantress instead, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I mean, he does so much more work than Enchantress when he does work, right? So, and Enchantress has you could play around her too, right? They could spread their cards out. Scroll takes everything. So
and Super Scroll ignores Cosmo too, or he's a second Cosmo, or like there's a lot. There's so many things that you can do with Super Scroll, and my favorite thing is to throw him into a deck to counter destroy decks, because I have a 4-cost
null, yeah,
right? Super cool, but I could understand why if you don't play a lot of Super Scroll, you might not realize the benefits right now, especially.
Maybe we should play more Super Scroll then. He's always seemed like a fun card. Every time I play him, a 4/2 seems so bad. I just get so sad at him being a 4/2. I should try him more though, but I every time I played him, I failed miserably. So the Tribunal for sure.
You think he's a B? You think he's there? You think he's in the B tier?
So I obviously I've played Super Scroll a bit more than you guys, so maybe I'm higher on him because I've seen more games where he does things. But I'm okay with C because I'm willing to admit that sometimes in a game I don't play him, right? Like if I'm going up against some bounce deck, he's not going to help me there. Mm-hmm. But I have dunked on a lot of decks because of him.
He is always a great tech card in tournaments. You always see him come up in these tournament lists, in these
They're
random
super
ones.
greedy. Yeah.
All right. Shuri.
Power creep?
Yeah. Is there any like S tier?
There's
any argument at all? Probably not, right?
She's worse than she used to be, but she's still nuts.
Yeah,
she's great.
New Shuri. I'm looking at the A tier. I'd probably take her over all of those cards.
Yeah, she's real good.
Yeah.
She's real good. All right. Typhoid Mary.
C?
I think C is fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the decks where she's played, she's fine. And now that Luke Cage is back to where he is, you just throw those 2 cards on a deck. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. She's not a B tier card, but I think she's better than the dumpster cards. Yeah. I like her C.
Well, similar to keeping Black Cat out of A, right? It's like in Sauron, like she's phenomenal in Sauron, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Really, really good in that deck. Like she's one of, like, you're happy to see a Typhoid.
You know what?
But
now
yeah,
that you
other
said
than
that,
it's like, a little bit of Luke Cage stuff, and she's not very versatile at all.
I kind of feel like we should put her in B now that you mentioned the Sauron thing, because I mean in that deck she's a superstar, and if we're using that logic for Black Cat, I think it's fair. She's really good in that deck. You can turn her effect off with Enchantress. I don't know. It seems pretty easy to work around.
Yeah. The reason why I'd keep her in C rather than B for the Black Cat argument is because the Hela deck's much better than the Sauron deck right now.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Just because that deck's better, I think Black Cat deserves a little more respect than Typhoid right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I hear that.
If that's fair, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a time where the Sauron was way better than the Hela deck, right? So.
Yeah. All right, the Thing. Oh, sport card. We could do high Evo Thing or the regular. Yeah. I mean, regular Things is dumpster 100%. Not even if there's lower than a dumpster card, I would probably do that.
Yeah.
But high Evo Thing, he's all right.
It's literally Spider Woman. So wherever you think Spider Woman would go, this is the exact same card.
Well, they just printed a card that is a 410, and this is at best a 4.9.
No, 410. So if it's 4, it's a 410.
No, it only hits 3, bro.
It's always 3. It's not the whole lane. Oh, so it's not Spider Woman then.
No, it only hits 3, and it only hits 3 if there's 3 in the lane. If there's only 1 in the lane, it hits only 1. Then it's a 4.7.
I was gonna try to make the argument too that it's better than a lot of those 410s because it can't be Shang-Chi'd, but it can be Shadow King'd and Luke Caged. Yeah. So I don't know.
And it's only 4.9 max a 4.9.
All right, I'll make a pitch. I'll make the first pitch, but again, I'm willing to be swayed. Okay. I think the high Evo deck is really good right now. Number one, but I do think the Thing does not go in every single high Evo build. I don't think he's like a top 5 card in the deck. I think some people think that. I personally don't. I think Cyclops is just like better. For example, right? And there's all kinds of awesome cards in that deck. The 1-drops are ridiculous, but I would say B. It would be I think he's a B tier. You're playing him in high Evo. Obviously, your Abomination comes down. Maybe you play Zabu, maybe you don't. But really good for the A-bomb.
Yeah, I think he's a C tier card. I can't put him in B with any, just like you said, in the high Evo decks, I don't even play him in the high Evo decks really. What would you rather play on 4, him or Cyclops? Be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I play Cyclops over him on turn 4 every day.
Yeah, you get the Misty Knight proc, you get maybe a Sunspot, your She-Hulk gets a cheaper, maybe you got Hulk in hand. Yeah, you got all kinds of benefits from skipping, right? So yeah.
What do you think, KIERNIMBUS? You be the
tiebreaker.
I think because I'm looking at the C tier cards, he's really easy to put into a deck. There's not a lot of I'm trying to think of the downside of putting him into a deck, and the downside is that you're not putting a better card into the deck. So I think that's a B for me. Mm-hmm. Right? Throwing him in a deck is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You're not losing out on anything because you're throwing out the Thing in your deck. Now, if you throw Typhoid Mary, you're going to have to worry about that negative. Sometimes you don't play Super Scroll. Rescue is super notable because she telegraphs your play. Kazar has to have a lot of 1-drops. Hellcow destroys your hand, and Mr. Negative is never going to be in your hand because it'll always stay in your deck. So I think Thing belongs in B for that reason.
All right. Fair.
Good, strong argument. Better than mine.
All right. Warpath, who Gunny T single-handedly has brought back into relevance.
Oh, this is without Gunny T, this is a dumpster for sure. Gunny T is making us think about it.
He still might be because in Gunny T's new list, Bigger, Dumber Idiots, he's not. He got cut.
That's why we got the power creep. That's the whole point of the list, right? He literally got power creep.
I'd say C.
I say you say C. I say dumpster. What do you think? He's dumpster or C? I'm okay with him in C tier. But no big deal. What do you think?
KIERNIMBUS, you think dumpster?
No, he said C.
No, I said C because I think that it's just as easy to work around as Typhoid Mary. There are cards that make this card work.
Because of Scar's existence, I think I'm okay with C. Scar's a really, really good card right now. And
yeah.
We'll put him in low C, and Gunny T, this is for you. The only reason why he's not dumpster. If there was no Big Dumb Idiots deck, he'd be dumpster. I wouldn't even be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But that Maria Wolf variant is fire, though. The Warpath.
It's pretty sick.
It's so good. All right, now I gotta find more cards here.
Not Spider-Man. Not Strong Guy.
or Rock Slide.
Oh my god, so many. They used to.
We have White Queen. All right, you guys talk about White Queen. I'll go find some more.
Go ahead, Kieran.
It hurts my heart, but it's gotta be garbage, dude. I loved this card on my Dino decks when I was playing the game. It was super cheeky. You could be like, "Ooh, I know what they're gonna do on turn 6," but now it's like a 4/6 that gives you one card is not enough. I mean, we're gonna talk about him in a minute, but if you want this card but better, look at Nick Fury.
Yeah, I think you worded it pretty good. When I was in pool 1 and 2, oh man, it felt real good playing that White Queen, even for 4 power. This is before Zabu even was released as a card. You know, when I first started playing the game, I started the December, so a couple months before Zabu came out. And God, I love the 6 stats. Actually, like felt pretty good in pool 1 and 2. And you're getting info. Maybe you get helped out on your curve. You got a Quinn Jet going. You get the discount. All this to say, it's not enough numbers for 4/6. It doesn't just getting to see, getting one of their cards in your hand is not like this game breaking effect that's going to win you the game. So I agree. I think unfortunately she's dumpster. I think they should at minimum put her up to a 4/7 at minimum in OTA.
Yeah,
and honestly think about 8.
Or I mean, hell, even like we were talking about making like 3 costs. I would be happy with this being at like a 3/6 or something. I don't know. Maybe that's too generous, but maybe even a 3/5. That's playable to me.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
I think she's dumpster. I agree. The way she is now, she's just like, you don't get enough. You don't get enough for her effect.
Yeah.
All right, good. Absorbing Man.
This is tough.
This is a tough one.
Oof.
I mean, 4/4 Absorbing Man, 4/5 felt so good.
Yeah. That was insane. Yeah. Yeah, currently 4/4. So yeah, on the screen, if you're visual listeners, he is a 4/4 now. Yeah.
He's okay. I mean, like for him, I would put him in like, he's definitely not dumpster. And I'd say he's hovering around B tier, because he's got some good use cases, but he's definitely not A tier. And I don't think he's bad enough to be in C. Like, I think you can make the argument for him to be in C, but I think he's a little bit better and maybe a little bit slept on.
Yeah, well, if you look at our C cards, right, it's like, I mean, Super Scroll might be the only one that's debatably we could raise up that has the same kind of game impact that Absorbing Man can have, right? So
I like him in B personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's because the only thing that's keeping Absorbing Man back is that he's so expensive for his effect, right? I mean, the 4/4 doesn't feel great, but you could do some insane things. I personally have him in my Dokken deck, and going turn 3 Dokken into turn 4 Absorbing Man feels pretty good.
Yeah, and
tees you up for turn 5 Modok. I'm just not seeing him a lot in the meta right now, which is making me question how amazing he is. But I think B feels right.
I think
low B tier.
People are playing him a lot in Supergiant stuff now. Dara just put him in his Sarah deck. So he had the Sarah deck with armor, but he took armor out, and now he's playing Absorbing Man. So he just does Absorbing Man Shang-Chi on turn 6. Or Shang-Chi Absorbing Man. And I mean, these are things that, a lot of people aren't exploring this stuff. But I mean, hey, man, that's the rank 1 player, but he's playing them, so he's got to be decent, right?
That's a good argument. I like that.
Yeah. All right. I like him in B. Wong.
For similar but different reasons, I think he's B as well.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's B in this meta now too. If you were asking me a couple months ago, he'd either be like C or dumpster, but I don't know. He's pretty on reveal is pretty good. He's in a good spot. I like him.
Yeah, a lot of ways to play him with not so telegraphed, like Wong Black Panther Odin, like that. That's not really how people are playing him now. There's a lot of ways you can play him now.
Stegron. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you want to say something about Wong?
I was just going to add one more thing, which is that I think it's interesting to pair Absorbing Man and Wong together, right? Because you can get a ton of value off of Wong, but he's also much more counterable than Absorbing Man is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I want to say.
At least Wong too. You can play like Wong, and then if you have priority, you actually the effect will go off, or you can play like on turn 6 or 5, some stuff. But
yeah.
Stegron 4/6 Stegron. I don't know. Like, can this card not be a dumpster tier? Like it's
That
never
was
played
my
really.
question too. It's like my initial thought was, oh yeah, C, but then I'm like, really, it's probably dumpster. Every time I try to play it, it's so awkward in these move decks. It's
Like
so
I
awkward
like
to play
I
the
want
card.
it to be a C tier card, and I'm happy if it's a C tier card. But like,
Yeah.
he's hardly ever played, and like I don't know.
It feels
It is
really
ba-
good when you cut him from the deck, like, and put something else in.
It just stinks because, like, we were just talking about how White Queen does one thing and it's usually not enough, and I feel like it's the same case here, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that you can't control where it goes also hurts the card a lot.
Yeah.
Because the idea is like, oh, I could take like a big card out of here and throw it into a different lane that I don't care about. Well, you have to win 2 lanes, so you're just pushing the problem somewhere else, as Patrick Starr likes to say.
Yeah.
We'll move our problem somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that later. So yeah, I think dumpsters is fine. It also hurts me because I do like the animation. I think the character is very cool, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
Yeah, and I love these Kingpin decks. Like, I think they're great. But
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
fun.
It feels great to cut them. Once you cut them, the win rate goes up. I think.
Well, yeah, I have a Kingpin Craven deck. I just ran through Silver Conquest last night in bed and just won a gold ticket with it. Stegron's not on the deck.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yep.
like, can I put Stegron on the deck? Like, he'd be kind of cool here, but it's like, no, you can't. Like, sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Iron Lad, is there like he's just S tier, right?
Power
Man,
creep.
I almost want to say that he's right where Jubilee is, but I mean, he's in like all the good decks, right?
Yeah.
So I can't really argue anything other than power creep tier.
Yeah, and also too with him, like he's like, I don't know. For me, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but he's like the quintessential like card you play right after Zabu. Like
Yeah.
I love getting like a turn 2 Zabu and then like a 3/6 Iron Lad. Like I'll choose Iron Lad over like almost any other card to play on turn 3 if I get like a Zabu. You know, he's just he's good. He's so good.
I'd say
It's
it
such a
depends
good
on my
card.
hand, but you know, if Doctor Doom's not in my hand, it's hitting Doctor Doom's happening.
That's it, right?
Yep.
He's great. He's a great card. Yeah, he's so versatile too. You could put him in like almost anything because it's not even on real. It's everything.
And as a Howard fan, I need to speak up here. It's good with Howard, okay?
Yes.
Don't listen to those top players, all right?
Yes.
Howard is fun, I promise. Yeah, but no, it's good.
Yeah,
I like Howard too. Yeah, Howard's fun.
Howard is
Yeah.
fun. This next one's a weird one. Man Thing.
I
don't know.
love Man Thing.
I love him too. I don't know what to do with him.
I'd say B.
I would probably say B as well.
That feels right.
Yeah, like I like
Really
him.
cool
Like
card though.
like in my heart, he's an A tier, but he's not objectively.
I
So,
think the big
he's
advantage
definitely
that
B.
Man Thing has over a lot of these cards is that, like, he's not as telegraphed. Like, he's kind of like the Thing, right? If we're comparing, blow for blow here. But the advantage is with Man Thing, you can, like, scope out the field and be like, okay, they played here turns 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to throw this here and get a ton of stats. And unless you have Luke Cage or Enchantress, those specific 2 cards, you can't stop him.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
All right, next one, Miss Marvel 414. Just put her in the power creep tier and be done with it.
Yeah, like, do you want Omega Red, but on steroids? There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Power
Good card.
This one's going to be an interesting, I think. Hi, Evo. What do you guys think?
I'd say A tier.
Yeah,
But I'm open to power creep. But I mean, it's not like when I think power creep, I'm thinking like we're playing our Zabu, we play a 4-drop on 3, then we play 2 4-drops on 6, and obviously High Evo's like just something completely different than that, right? So
Right,
I'm open
yeah,
to the
it's-
power creep, but I don't know, I'm just throwing him in A. I don't know.
I like him in A, maybe like a high A or whatever. I'll put him up here. Personally, I mean, again, I'm open to him being in the power creep too. He's just really good. His decks are they've always been pretty damn good, if not the top decks. They're not really
What do you think? Do you want to tie break it?
I personally feel like he's not in the A tier for the sole purpose that he elevates cards to such a degree. It would be similar to comparing him to an always consistent Mr. Negative. Like, his effect starts at the beginning of the game and your deck is just cracked. Like, all your cards are insane. I feel like that's worth the power creep tier. You get this one card, you have access to an insanely competitive deck.
Yeah,
I'm down. He's awesome. I play him all the time, so I can't knock it.
Yeah. As like high evo for like his deck, the way that he makes the deck a lot better. Not that himself is like a broken, card like Miss Marvel's a 414.
Same with Mr. Negative, like your name.
And like I've said a bunch of times, like this is probably the best 6,000 tokens you can spend in Marvel stat.
Absolutely,
like bar none.
Absolutely.
Number one is a ton of fun, and number two, you get a ton of value. And aside from Wasp, like all the other cards are series 1 or 2, and it's good. You can do a good deck with that. All right, who do we got next? Oh, Beat Ray Bill, the old Beta Ray.
Yeah, that's right. I'll let you guys speak on this. I don't have the card, so I would be mostly speculating.
Okay, so go ahead, no big deal. Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm a big time Beat Ray degenerate. We've gone through a few of the decks on here, but I haven't been playing them since. I think Supergiant's release is a massive nerf to this card because the Jane Foster on 5 is dead to the point where he was already not quite good enough top tier, and then Supergiant comes out, it's just like another thing to slightly bring him down. All this to say, I think he's B tier. I think he's a really cool, good card that can pop off, but I don't think he belongs with the A tier cards.
100% agree. Yeah, exactly. Like 100% agree with that. He's a B tier card. But he's so fun. He's a really fun card. I actually really enjoyed playing with him.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
On paper, he seems absolutely nuts, but you have to rely on a lot of things to go right. So
yeah. Oh yeah, when he pops off, you get 750 in 2 different lanes. You get 760, 760. It's insane. Yeah. That's some wild screenshots.
Yeah.
Get a Zola on there. Get a Ravona Zola on there. It's insane.
What do you think about Supergiant?
This I don't know. I don't have this card, so you guys go.
Okay, so I think right now Supergiant's probably in the B tier. I don't think it's an amazing card. It is good, but I think as the game goes on, like as time goes on, it'll end up being an A tier card. Because I think there'll be a time where like you need it for tech. I think it's a cool tech card with a really cool design. I don't think it's super good right now, though. Personally, when I'm playing on the ladder, it's not bothering me that people are playing Supergiant. I don't care that much. It's not like I'm not like they play Supergiant on 4 or 5, and I'm not like, oh damn, they played Supergiant. Like it's either they play it on 5 and they have Prio and I leave for a cube because I don't want to get Goliath, or they play it and I'm just beating them anyway because it's not that great of a play a lot of the time.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here. I think it's an A tier card because it shuts down Sarah.
Yeah. I mean, if you shut down the best deck in the game, like it's pretty good. If you got to draw it though, right?
Well, you could make that argument for every card.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Like I genuinely think because it shuts down Sarah, it's got to be A. It like that can't be ignored. It also shuts down things like Leech. It shuts down a lot of like turn 5 setups for combos. Plus, you add on to the fact that if you get priority and you Goliath last turn, that's stupid. I just think that she enables more than the rest of the cards in B tier.
That's kind of true. Yeah, because then like you said at the beginning, the Akocha deck, right? You do stuff like Titania, Tuma. You can do all that kind of stuff too, which you never really could do before, and that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it there. I mean, she's good. Don't get me wrong. Her effect is good. Mm-hmm. I'm just like not seeing the hype that a lot of people are seeing right now. I think she's good.
She's balanced by her stat line, right? I mean, we talk about this whole thing is about the power creep. Like, she's a 4/5, right? And you could very easily get a 4/10 in Marvel Snap. So
yeah, but her
5 power to get this effect.
Her text is very, very powerful, and I think as time goes on, it's going to get more powerful when you get more stuff. So I really do think she's a really good card.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Oh, and then Hercules is down in the dumpster where he belongs.
I don't even think we need to change it, man.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Hercules is not going to win you the game by himself. You could replace him with a number of move cards, and it's basically the same.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Safety Blade. He has a thing in his Discord that's just like Herc believers, and like everyone posts like the Hercules decks, and it's pretty cool. And I think he got like an infinity border with his did he play like a Phoenix Force Tribunal or like some sort of Hercules? But it's a fun deck, but like poor Hercules is just a dumpster right now. 4/7. This push that they're trying to make like move cards. They're trying to make like big move cards. I don't know. I think it's dumb personally.
I hate
The
it.
move
See, like,
cards. Go ahead.
The thing that I hate about that argument the most is like, okay, then why don't you do that to Destroy?
Mhm.
Destroy does not have any good 4 costs.
Yeah.
What, are you counting Shang-Chi?
Mhm.
What,
Yeah.
like, why does a move need to be the archetype that has to have a 4-drop? I don't get it. And if it's gonna be a 4-drop, it needs to be better than this.
Yeah, not a 4/6 move once destroys the card in the lane. That they made a 5/9 recently.
That was my exact argument to KIERNIMBUS. I said the exact same thing when they put that in the paragraph. I'm like, Destroy doesn't have. It's the most popular deck in the game. Everybody loves it. The cards go basically up to 3 cost, and then there's a 6. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
There was the possible Venom might be moved to 4/5 if Destroy gets out of hand.
Oh god,
They had that in their back pocket, so that might happen. And then we have the final one, which for the reason why we are doing this tier list to begin with, we have just the big dumb idiot himself, the 4/10.
Hi, would you like 10 stats with no restriction? There you go.
I think we got to put him in the power creep just because he is power creep.
Yeah. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
He's a 4/10. He's really good. He's not like the best 4-drop in the game. So I guess you can argue sometimes that maybe Drac is better than him, but I don't know. He's a 4/10 with like basically no.
Like, hear me out.
Fuck, he's good. He's just good.
He's better with Korg than Darkhawk.
Yeah, probably.
How does that make sense? How is Korg better with Cull Obsidian than it is with Darkhawk?
Yeah. True. Yeah, Darkhawk would be like a 4/8, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 That's dumb. It's really dumb.
It's wild when you think of it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. No, I think he belongs there. Kid, there is one more that you missed. It's if you scroll all the way to the bottom.
It's not out yet. Oh, Nick Cage too, I guess.
Oh, Nick Fury.
Or Nick Fury. Sorry, not Nick Cage. Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
So I'm thinking of Ghost Rider. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nick Fury. Oh, 4/5. I don't know. C tier.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that with Quinjet and Collector, it's like a really solid pick. But yeah, it's not gonna win you the game or be as consistent as some of these other cards. So
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect Nick Fury and put him in the dumpster tier.
No, he's an interesting card that can do
he's
things,
playable.
right? Yeah.
especially with Quinjet, right? If you get Nick Fury on 4 with Quinjet, you get a 6 cost for 5. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I just want to say on here, I think Proxima Midnight's in the power creep.
You want me to put this one up here? All right, fine. We'll do Proxima.
You don't have to put her there, but I just want to, just throw it out there. I think she's in the power creep, man. This card just seems absolutely crazy to me. But we'll see.
It's pretty good. I think it's like a better Wolverine in a discard deck.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Anytime you can get a
Wolverine with Captain Marvel's effect. Anytime
you can get a free 7 power in the lane that you need it the most, pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really felt like as a 4/6, it was like an A tier card, but they're really pushing it. I wonder if their internal testing is showing them something different.
Yeah, maybe we're all just wrong. Like I thought 4/6 it was pretty busted. Like I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be pretty sweet in discard, But
I think it's the discard as a whole. I think it has to be that, right? Because Dagger's like a 2/24, right? But she's still a move card. But she's 2/20, but she's a move card. So it might just be that they're playing these discard decks, and they're like, "Well, Thanos is still shit kicking us, and I got a 4/6 Captain Marvel for free. Or sorry, I got a 0/6 Captain Marvel, and I still get shit kicked by Thanos deck. So maybe that's and that's perfectly reasonable, right? So they just want to put out a broken discard card, just like Dagger. Dagger's busted, but she's a move card.
Yeah.
I like this list. I think we did an all right job. Pretty good.
Do you want to read it out quick for the audio listeners, or?
Yeah.
All right, sure. In the power creep /S tier, we have Darkhawk, and these are no order within the tier list, within the tiers themselves. I just threw them in. We have Darkhawk, Shuri, Iron Lad, Miss Marvel, High Evo, Cull Obsidian, and Proxima Midnight, which we are speculating, but could potentially be a dumpster card, but I doubt it. In the A tier, we have Dracula, Enchantress, Jubilee. Oh, fuck. We don't have Shang-Chi. Where the hell did he go?
Oh,
Whoa!
I'm just thinking
Dude.
this right now. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, wait a minute. Something seems off here.
good catch.
Where is this
good
card?
catch.
This is like the fucking Power Creep King
The
himself.
king. Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah.
In the Power Creep tier, we have Shang-Chi, Darkhawk,
Yeah.
Shuri, Iron Lad. This, right? He's Power Creep. Do we have to argue about that?
No, I think I don't even think that he's power creep. I
No.
think that he's necessary for the game.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely right. He's super strong.
Like, not Power Creep. He's an S tier card, though, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi, Darkhawk, Shuri, Iron Lad. That was a close one. Miss Marvel.
Did we talk
High
about
Evo.
Loki?
He's a 3. Oh, oh my God. He's not a 3. He's a 3 in here. Fuck. You're right. God damn it. Loki.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
We're missing out like some bangers.
I'm
All right.
sorry,
Dude.
guys.
I'm going to look through my A to Z.
I genuinely think that that's the only one left.
All right. Thank you.
Namor. Oh, Werewolf by Night is another one.
Oh my god. I don't have that card. That's why I don't see it in my list here.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's it. I think Werewolves. Oh, one more, kid. There's one more. Silver Samurai.
low production value podcast here.
You know, this will all be edited out, right?
Yeah.
Surely.
No, I'm keeping it all in. I don't give a shit.
No, it's dumb, man.
The people need to see how the sausage is made.
Exactly. I can't find Silver Samurai. I don't know where the hell he is.
Just put Corvus. We'll call him Silver Samurai at the bottom.
Wait, maybe he'll be
That's
here.
good.
Oh, Silver. Oh, maybe that's why he's just not on here. I don't know.
Yeah, is he just not on
Wow.
here? Sometimes
Even
Corvus
these
at the
guys
bottom.
forgot.
Just grab him. We'll say he's Silver Samurai.
who's Corvus?
Yeah, he's a discard guy. Whatever. Yeah. We'll use our imagination.
All right, fine.
It's okay. He might not be on here. Maybe this guy doesn't own him, right?
All right.
I think
All
that's
right.
it. I just went through my list here. Yeah.
All right, let's start with Loki. I mean, Loki's really good right now.
A-
Loki's getting better.
A or F?
Before the most recent nerf, it was power creep, no question.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's A
Number
tier
one.
right now.
Mhm.
I think it's A creeping into S tier right now because a lot more people are playing Loki. Loki's having a resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, we got High Evo, Cull Obsidian in there. Obviously, Proxima's kind of memey, but maybe we should just put him in the top tier. It's Loki, man. He's still ridiculous. You know, Tanjo's like top 2 with him. He only plays Loki. I mean, the decks are really good still. Like, it's a really good deck.
Yeah. I like him as an S tier.
I also think that as a card, he's shifted from like the main piece of the deck to a backup plan
True.
that can still win you the game.
And
And I think
people are
that's
attacking Loki now. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, if I don't draw my stuff, I'll just play Loki.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night, 4/4. Oh, what a fall from grace. This card, I think, is probably B tier now.
Yeah.
I think it goes from being an S tier to probably a B tier card. It only has home in like some bounce lists where it's like, you know, where you can get some
And-
cheap cards.
I'm going to use the same argument I made with Darkhawk here. With Korg, Werewolf by Night is what? A 4/6?
4/6, yeah.
That's not good enough. Sorry.
No.
Not with Mr. Cull Obsidian on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut him for a call in a bounce list, and it felt really good. But I know Lambie plays both. But
Like,
yeah.
I guess the big advantage with Werewolf, right, is that you can like really trick your opponent on where the power is going to be. Whereas Cull Obsidian, you're just slamming them down. So, pros and cons. But I think that you have to do a lot of work to get Werewolf where Cole is right now.
Yeah. And that's why I think he's in a B. That's why he even skips a tier. I wouldn't even put him in an A.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
last
Silver
one,
Samurai.
Silver Samurai. I also think B. I think it's a B card personally.
Yeah.
I would have said C.
I would have
like,
said C.
a month ago. But with the Hella decks being so prevalent, it's really valuable, especially with like Iron Man and Blob.
I think this card's always been really good. I think it's similar to what you were saying with Sentry, KIERNIMBUS. I think people are just kind of sleeping on it when it came out. Same with Silk. Silk came out. Nobody thought it was good. I don't know why.
Yeah.
This is freaking 2/5. And then Silver Samurai, his effect is really disruptive. Like, you very often hit something important because we're playing this 12 card deck game where all of our cards are important. And so,
Yeah.
you know, anything that it's hitting is probably something you're going to play because you're trying to set up your turn 5 play. You've already played your cheap stuff out. So he's probably not hitting a Korg because you would have played the Korg by turn 4. So he is really the only disruption in the Hela deck that exists, and like an actual snap condition a lot of the time. And he hits Blob and Doctor Doom really reliably for Hela, so it dodge, another way to dodge the Hela discard. So I don't know, and all doc to say B tier, right?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it as low B tier.
It's a like legit good card, I think, but only in Hela.
Now I really want to argue for Super Scroll, but that's fine. It's cool.
We can bump up. I don't mind bumping up the scroll, man. I have no issue with that. Yeah, let's get
B tier.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go. Look, I'm just saying, if we're putting Silver Samurai in B, I think in a similar way, there are certain games where Super Scroll can just win you the game.
That's true.
It's
that's
really
true.
cool.
I'm down. I'm down, man. Scroll's crazy. Scroll, when he goes crazy for sure. I'll give you that for sure.
Yeah. All right, no big deal. You read it out. I gotta pee real quick, man.
Okay, so in the Power Creep tier,
sorry,
we got Shanger Banger, Shang-Chi, Darkhawk, Shuri, Iron Lad, Miss Marvel, High Evolutionary, Loki, Cull Obsidian, and maybe Proxima Midnight. I think she's gonna be crazy. In the A tier, Dracula, Enchantress, Jubilee, Omega Red, Sentry, Supergiant. By the way, not in order, as the kid said. B tier, Atuma, Black Cat, Ghost Rider, Jessica Jones, Miles Morales, Moon Girl, Thing, Absorbing Man, Wong, Man Thing, Beat Ray Bill, Werewolf by Night, Silver Samurai, and Super Scroll in the B tier. New member of the B tier. Let's go, KIERNIMBUS. C tier, Mr. Negative, Hell Cow, Kazar, Rescue, Typhoid Mary, Warpath, thanks to Gunny T, and Nicholas Fury. And then dumpster diving. You're dumpster diving. You got Crossbones, 4/8, 4/4 Captain Marvel, Drax, sad card there. Namor, White Queen, Stegron, and Hercules. Is there any below Hercules, kid? No, that's it.
No, that's it. Yeah. If we miss some, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like how flat this list looks. It's like very aesthetically pleasing from like B tier below.
That's nice.
It kind of lined up. Yeah.
It did. Yeah, good, sweet. Man, we're like almost 2.5 hours in. Do you want? I made some of those AI image things. If you want to do them, it's up to you.
I have time,
for a while. I don't know.
but it's totally up to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm cool. What do you guys want to do?
I think we should call it. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. We never go over 2 hours or like 2:20.
Yeah, you're good, dude.
All right. You want to close it out?
Yeah, we can save the AI unless Kier knows you really want to do the AI. Do you like the AI?
Oh no. If you feel like we're going too long, that's cool.
Yeah,
this has been a very lengthy discussion.
Yeah, I don't care either way. I don't give a shit to me.
Let's wrap it.
All right, let's wrap it. It's all good. All right, KIERNIMBUS, anything else you got to say to the people, man?
Yeah, play Super Scroll, please. It's really cool.
Yeah, I want to say first, like, KIERNIMBUS, man, thanks so much for coming on. It was a good, man, this is probably the longest one we've done. This was a good discussion. That was awesome. I loved it. Loved having you on. It's really great. Tell people where they can find you. Again.
Yeah. If you want some inconsistent content from your favorite cloud person, I am available everywhere at KIERNIMBUS, but I spend most of my time on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Nice. And I should probably say this once in a while, but I mean, if you want to follow us at the Super Snap Bros on YouTube, Twitter /X, the kid _snap, no big deal _snap. Rate our podcast on your podcasting platforms. Apparently that helps. I don't know. But yeah, no big deal. What do you got to say to the people, man?
Well, I want to say first, because obviously KIERNIMBUS, great Twitter follow. For the audio listeners, that's KIERNIMBUS. I think the first half is a little tricky spelling, so I just want to give it to the
very Irish
for the audio listeners. Yeah, and KIERNIMBUS, you look great. Love the suit, man. Thanks for coming out, and I love your energy. And big shout out to KIERNIMBUS for this pod and Proxima Midnight to the Moon. Let's go.
Oh yeah! All right. Peace.